Bosses on strike wanna raise and fare so they can help pollute the air. But that's what makes the world go round. The ups and downs of carousel, changing people's heads around. Go underground, young man. People make the world go round. Wall Street losing dough on every share. They're blaming it on longer hair. Big been smoking in their easy chair on a fat cigar without a care. But that's what makes the world go round. The ups and downs of carousel, changing people's heads around. Go underground, young man. People make the world go round. But that's what makes the world go round. The ups and downs of carousel, changing people's heads around. Go underground, young man. People make the world go round. People make the world go round. People make the world go round. People make the
I'm finna do my thing. It's crazy in the club when I'm in there, man. Get up. Trust me, homie, I'm not playing. I had a dance floor off the chain. I said, get up. I came to bring you that California love and a little New York hate. It's all of the above. I'm not playing. I'm saying I'm off the chain. You better follow instructions. I said, get up. I bow to I fall. I stunt till I drop. I'm off the showroom floor, not the used car lot. You buy a bottle, I buy the bar. I make any other week feel like Mardi Gras. When I get into it, I get into it. Everybody can't do it the way I do it. I make it rain, then the sun come out. Plain, we make the come out now. My question is who they gon' blame when I'm at number one on the Billboard again. Shift now, the game done changed since Mike made Thriller and Prince made Purple Rain. I guess I made the kids once and NWA made the West Coast bang. Nah, it's just music, man, it's just music. Now get your on the dance floor and move it. I have the savoir-faire, I'm the reason everybody here. I say get up. I make it hot in here. Your feet hurting, I really don't care. I say get up. I wanna see you move and get all into the groove. I say get up. I'm getting money, man, I really don't care. Let me see you put your hands in the air. I say get up. Good. I won't get to know you better. You look good in them jeans and them red stilettos. You got a Bentley coupe, baby, I wanna drive. See and tell you what your mileage is when I'm out. I'm gonna take you for a spin, you know, round and round. Switch gears till your love come down. I take you to the point of no return. If you listen, you learn just how it earn. I got money to burn. Why they can't bid, drop the bomb on me. It's up and down gracefully. Rick James would've said shit, brick house. A 50 you should go on and see what that about. I find out she like it how I like it, huh? Back it up, get you some. I know how to get you. Tune you up, use your tongue. Under the hood, it's so good. She said so good. Damn, I'm so hood. What up? I have the savoir-faire. I'm the reason everybody here. I say get up. I make it hot in here. Your feet hurting, I really don't care. I say get up. I want to see you move and get all into the groove. I say get up. I'm getting money, man. I really don't care. Let me see you put your hands in the air. I say get up. And get into it. You're now rocking with the unit. I said get up, and get into it. We're gonna show you just how we do it. I said get up, aftermath. Still shady aftermath. I said get up, aftermath. Still shady aftermath.
Let's do a mic check. Who's here with me? Let's do a mic check here. Who's here? Let me know if you're here. Just let me know. Had a little bit of audio problems earlier. So I just want to make sure we're good. Let me put my reading glasses on. My apologies. So I can see the screen. Oh, that was an old man ass move right there, wasn't it? I should put my hat on too. I jumped out of the shower and I got right to it right here. Scott Bain said we're good. Are we good on the sound? Should I put my hat on? Let's rock it without. If it get deeper, if it get hot in here or whatever, if I get going and sweaty or so, whatever, I'll put my hat on. YouTube is good. Thank you, Preston. Twin says, man, Maine, we've been here. Let's go. Oh, okay. Since Twin said, let's go, let's go. What's good with everybody? How's everybody's weekend? Here in Cincinnati, I know that it was the Cool Jazz Festival, and they don't call it that anymore. Stephen Speed said present. Mike sounds nice. Thank you, Donna. I may have missed some people. I didn't have my glasses on, so I couldn't really see anything. So if I skipped you, it was not on purpose. Sabrina Calloway, what's good? Queen, she says, I'm here. Good afternoon, Wyatt Live family. What's good? Brenda Harris, what's good? Check one. Microphone check. Carolyn Smith, what's good, Queen? Hello, all, she said. What's good with everybody? How was everybody's weekend? I know I just asked that. Thank you, Lethea. She says weekend was grand. Who was the best artist of the weekend? Is that fair to say? Or should I say who was the best on Thursday, Friday, and maybe a Saturday? Was there a show on Sunday? I don't know. I haven't gone to the jazz festival in a few years now. The last time I went to the jazz festival, man, it may not have been that long ago. It was a couple years ago, maybe. It was when Teddy Riley and Blackstreet came in. And I enjoyed it. If I can get within 100 miles of Teddy Riley's show, I'm more likely gonna go, no matter where it is. And I'll tell you, the last time I really sat down and listened to Teddy Riley, um, it was at the House of Blues. Okay, it was at the House of Blues in Orlando, and Teddy was he did kind of like a one-man show, which, to be honest with you, I'm cool with Teddy doing a one-man show because he is a one-man show. All the hits that Teddy Riley put out, we're not going to make this a music show, obviously. I just want to let you know that House of Blues setting with Teddy Riley was dope. He had a keyboard, his electric keyboard that he plays like a guitar. And then he had, of course, his DAT tape running and all his hits and stuff. He does a really, really good show of all the hits that he's ever, produced, all the way back from Dougie Fresh, Bobby Brown, all the way up to, stuff that he did for Michael Jackson. So I just think, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Teddy Riley has to be, I'm gonna say he's the most underrated producer of all time. I know we got some people like High Tech in the Cincinnati area. I dig High Tech. That's my guy. But he's never, he hasn't been at that level of a Teddy Riley. Teddy Riley has been at the highest peak, the highest level, and seen all genres of music. I mean, he's done stuff for hip hop. He's done stuff for R&B. He's done something for pop music. He's done something for I don't know, Madonna and people like that. So Teddy Riley's been all over the spectrum of music. So I think that he is probably one of the most underrated. You just don't see Teddy Riley getting anything from a world, world stage, I don't know. You just don't see him receive anything. Even when he worked with Michael Jackson, who's probably the largest artist he's ever worked with. And, I just think Teddy Riley has changed music. And I think he doesn't get the props that he deserves. Okay, he really didn't. He started a whole genre of music in hip hop, and it was hip hop R&B, and it was called New Jack. And I just think Teddy's way underrated for what he did for the music industry. That's just my opinion on that. So I've seen some people say Sabrina said Earth, Wind, and Fire on Friday was amazing. The music that lasts forever. Earth, Wind, and Fire's music is timeless. Was Philip Bailey? Was he the lead singer that night, Sabrina? He probably was. They're all older, but Philip Bailey, for some odd reason, still sounds the same. Him, Charlie Wilson, them type of guys, and the Isley Brother guy, some of them guys just don't lose their sound. I think it comes with taking care of yourself away from the stage. You feel me? Like a lot of these guys, singers, R&B singers from the Jodeci days, the 90s, a lot of them really abused their bodies. I don't mean to take stabs at them, but when they would come into the Cincinnati Jazz Festival and sing, a lot of them didn't really sound that good because they lived a rock and roll, smash the hotel, drink and smoke type, lifestyle. And that could be brutal on your vocal cords. I'm not a professional singer, but hell, I know that. Jodeci, I think, could still be doing things to this day. But him and Cisco, these guys come out here and they just don't sound like they used to sound. Powerful voices, but they don't keep them polished because of the lifestyle. And it's sad because, if you look at some of the older artists like the Charlie Wilsons, like the Philip Baileys, these guys are professional, artists who take care of their bodies professionally. They might pick up a few pounds, but they still polished artists, with their voice. That's, I remember watching, I'll be honest with you, I've never really been much, I was a huge fan of New Edition as a child, as a young man. And then I grew into that era when they went and got Teddy Riley and some other people to start working on that NE Heartbreak album. Then I became even more of a New Edition fan. The younger generation of New Edition, I felt, quite frankly, was more of a girl. You know, the girls love New Edition, like the new kid on the block. I don't see a lot of guys running around talking about they love New Kid on the Block. It was more of the girls in the audience type of thing. You know what I mean? But you could still appreciate their music. But to be honest with you, I was a New Edition fan because you, as a young man who like music, who want to get in the music industry, look at New Edition as a model. Like, we want to be like them. How many of y'all have ever been in a group? Maybe it didn't work out. Maybe you didn't even make it to the first talent show. But I used to be in groups and, you know, do things like that. So New Edition was kind of like an example. Who we wanted to be, you know, we wanted to do the new Edition steps, which they took from the Temptations, and it was just, you know, I love the old school wine and dine type, you know, slide and all. I used to love that type of stuff. I wish it would come back. But then you got the music that came out, and these guys were abusing their bodies. I'm talking about with the drinking, smoking cigarettes, smoking weed, whatever. It's just not good for the body. And it shows when they come do their show. Some of them become addicted to these habits. You know, they become addicted, so they don't show up for shows. Now, one of my favorite artists, I'll be honest with you, one of my favorite female artists, if I could, I really shouldn't even separate them like this, but one of my favorite artists who's a female happened to be Mary J. Blige. And when Mary J. Blige was coming up in the 90s, she was great. But had you ever been to a Mary J. Blige show? Have you ever heard Mary J. Blige sing when she was dealing with Jodeci or Casey? Wasn't it Casey? Yeah, it was Casey, right? She was going down the drains with him. The drug abuse, the alcohol, and all that type of stuff was killing her vocal cords. It was hurting her music, and it was hurting her dates. She wasn't showing up. She was, you know, not doing well on the stage and things of that nature, and it hurt her a little bit. I'm glad she ended up getting out of that situation and start valuing the position that she's been blessed with. Okay. But yeah, like I think Sabrina just said, Earth, Wind, and Fire. I would go see Earth, Wind, and Fire anytime. You feel me? But like, let me just say this one last one so I'll get it out of the way. Have y'all went and seen Keith Sweat lately? Make It Last Forever. You don't want to hear that from him anymore. You love the song, you love the beat, you love the kick, you love how it starts here, you love all of that. But when Keith get on stage, it's so bad for Keith, he can't even get on stage without a drink. You feel me? So if you getting on stage already kind of messed up, can't really sing it like it needs to be sung, and you have to take your dependency on the stage with you, Keith, we got a problem here. You feel me? Like, I can't see you, bro. I can't come see you when you are slurring through your verses. You feel me? It is not sounding good on top of that. But I seen that LL was in town, and LL always been in good shape. You feel me? Like, he was a skinny kid, like I was a skinny kid. Then he did that I'm Bad album. Then he started hitting the bag a little bit and start lifting weights and doing things. My partner Steve told me he was there with LL and was, you know, did some work with him over the weekend. While he was in town, he was with him, and he said, "Man, that guy is cut, no body fat." You know what I mean? I'm like, L been lifting weights for 30 years, 40 years now, or something like that. Yeah, about 30 or 40 years. So yeah, and he takes care of his body. You feel me? Now Run, who showed up, I understand. You know, he's older than us. So Run gonna do what Run gonna do, but at the same time, he's a rapper. You know, he's a rapper, so it's a little bit different. But Run always been the one Run was tired when he was a kid, like when he was a young man. I think Run was tired back then because he yelled through the microphone of his lyrics. Shit, he yelled on his albums, so that could wear you down. That can wear you down a little bit. But yeah, I'm glad that the Jazz Festival was a hit. I'm glad. You know what? I'm a fan of the Jazz Festival. I think it's a great thing for the city. It brings economics in. I don't know if it's distributed all, you know, in the way that I would love it to be. But what I'm noticing is there's more businesses that can piggyback off the Jazz Festival. When you start seeing places like Something to Wine About, and I'm not familiar with all the downtown Black-owned restaurants and bars and things of that nature. I'm not familiar with all of them, but I'm happy that they're able to piggyback off that business that's coming in town from Detroit, from Chicago, from Cleveland, from Indianapolis. You know what I'm saying? From some city, from Louisville. I'm happy to see that. And I'm happy to see that these guys are eating when these things come in town. I just think that, quite honestly, that the Jazz Festival should be, the upstairs should be ran by different people. Different people. And the reason why I say that is because I think people would make better decisions at bringing in talent. I'm not suggesting that this year wasn't. I think this year's lineup was a really good lineup without even going. I wasn't even in the city. But now let me just be honest with you. I don't want to be negative about this. Last year was kind of crazy. Wasn't it last year that they had Al Green as the closeout? To me, an 80-year-old man being the closeout of I think somebody checked them on that, because this year I could see Earth, Wind, and Fire. I could see these guys there, and they're older too. But if you're going to bring age in that's going to move the crowd. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not that has to sit on a stool and perform and close out a show. To me, just from a promoter's perspective, that's not giving people their dollars. You know, you're not getting your money's worth for that. That's just my opinion. Some people probably sat there and listened to Al Green in a lawn chair or in the front row, and they felt like that's the only act they wanted to see because they hadn't seen him in 40 years, and that was good for them. But for me, our days of coming up in the Jazz Festival, the lineup was fire. From the front to the back, it was fire. And those are the days that, they could still do that. And with it, I think, quite honestly, I used to say, Tracy said Earth, Wind, and Fire did not close out the show. Maybe not. I'm not suggesting that. I'm just suggesting that Earth, Wind, and Fire is a group that's older, but they can move a crowd. But Al Green was a closer last year. You know what I mean? I just think that you have to make better decisions on your acts that's coming in. That's all I'm saying. I'm not suggesting that Earth, Wind, and Fire closed out the show. I think that Earth, Wind, and Fire could close out a show, especially in a city like Cincinnati, because would you say that there's younger people in the crowd at the Jazz Festival? I don't think so. I didn't hear of one. Who was the youngest? Who do you think, and this is just a question, sis, who do you guys think was the youngest artist that came in town during the who was the youngest artist? Okay, I got you, Tracy. She said they were supposed to, Wyatt. They switched. Okay, I think that they could close out a show. That's why I kind of like what I said. I don't know the lineup. Didn't know the lineup. I know they're powerful enough to close out a jazz festival. They're a band. You know what I mean? They're a band. Who was the youngest artist in the lineup over the weekend? Like, was it somebody that could bring out the 20-somethings? Is there a 20-something crowd for the jazz festival? Or is it like the 40 and up? Maybe 35? I don't know. 40 and up. Raheem Devon, Jasmine Sullivan, I'm hearing. Those are younger. Raheem Devon, I don't know who that is, to be honest with you. So if it's Raheem, I don't know if he's that young. If it's the Raheem I'm thinking. My point is this. Some may respect it, some might agree, some may not. Okay, MJ says 40 and up. I agree with that. Now, let me just say this to you. If you're going to keep the jazz festival, this is what I used to say. I'm still on it, but I'm on the fence because of what happened this weekend. I'm hearing Jasmine Sullivan again and Lucky Day. Somebody tell what age group is the what age group? Raheem is 50. Yeah, okay. I thought that was the same Raheem. What age group does Jasmine Sullivan and Lucky Day play to? What age group do they play to? I'm just curious, because I used to say this. I don't know if this is true or not. I don't really know if I'm accurate in my evaluation of this situation over the weekend, this situation on the weekends of the jazz festival. I would say I'm with you. That's where I'm going, Tracy. That's where I'm going. I used to say that. I used to say that these promoters of the jazz festival, you have to get artists that are only going to pull in 40, 35 might be too young. Let's go 40. 40 on up. Okay. I believe that the jazz festival, you have to keep it for the grown and what are they, grown and sexy or grown and clean, whatever it is. They have to keep it for that. I used to say that. I still stand on that. But here's the problem with that. I don't think kids really care what's going on inside the building of the jazz festival. And when I say kids, we older, Tracy. We're older, Sabrina. You know what I'm saying? So a kid to us could be 25, 30 years old. All right. I'm just thinking out loud. But I really think they have to make these jazz festivals for people 40 and up as the years go by. But I don't know if that really matters. Because if you think about it, kids go downtown anyway. Younger people, younger undisciplined people are going to go. They do it every weekend in Cincinnati, whether we admit it or not. I mean, we've been admitting it here. We've been admitting it here on this show for 4 or 5 years now. Kids go downtown to the banks and can't even get in there and drink. They just go where the party environment is, the party atmosphere is, and they go off and do their own thing. Right? So I used to be an advocate. I used to be like, hey, you got to book them older acts, man. Keep them kids from down there. But I really don't think that that stops the kids from going to the jazz festival. Let me tell you what I think. I mean, why I think that way. Why I'm changing my thought on that. Number one, I remember going down to the Cool Jazz Festival and never going in. All right, we never went in. We hung out at the square. Y'all remember those days? Remember the days that we would just go downtown during Jazz Festival, wouldn't go in, and we would do all the party stuff that was out on the strips and at the, the strip by McDonald's and all of that. We would, the Millennium Hotel, whatever that hotel was, all that strip. We would watch all the cars from other cities come through. We would party on the square. We were younger. We wouldn't even go in. You know what I mean? So I could see younger people still coming down to the Fountain Square, hanging out at the banks and all that during Jazz Festival. I could see all of that. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's how we book the acts. Tracy and I are on the same page. We're not going if they're booking Sexy Red to come up in this joint. It's not going to happen. You can't put Sexy Red on and then come behind Sexy Red is Earth, Wind, and Fire. You couldn't be able to do anything like that. That would be ridiculous, obviously. So I don't know. That's crazy. Let me read a couple comments before I go on. I got a phone call that came in. I'll get to that phone call here shortly. Of course, we're going to start the day off like that. I will be skipping that one today. That's cool. Jazz Festival today is old school at the stadium. I agree, Lonzo. I agree. Fame, what's up, bro? He said, Linda Reed, I am not going to hate myself. I will just get out of people's way. See, you old ass won't let the young gals be young. I'm going to skip that one, Fame. I don't know what you were saying there, bro, but it was lengthy. Let's see here. Yeah, we used to go down to the square just to hang out. Sorry, the conversations in the chat seem to be going back and forth with people, so I'm gonna let them have their sidebar conversations. MJ Smith says it was more people on the banks at the booths. Well, aren't those the booths that they sell stuff? The vendors? Are you talking about the vendor booths? See, I like to see stuff like that. I like to see people get their grind on, especially people that are, that's making things on their own. Maybe a t-shirt shop, maybe a trinket shop or something. Somebody that cuts jewelry or something of that nature. I love to see people like that get their money on down there. I like to see stuff like that. Or even like a little, some type of booth that's selling some type of grandma's recipe cornbread or whatever. I like to see people get their grind on and start getting their money when they set up booths down there and stuff like that. Yes, Linda Reed, I seen on your feed that you were working the jazz festival. A couple of my buddies said they were working down there as well. All right, y'all are sitting back having conversations. Let me ask y'all something. Have y'all seen? I'm going to get back to the jazz festival situation, but a couple things before I go into that. Did you guys see the incident at the Walmart? Did you hear about the Walmart incident? The man that stabbed or cut 11 people and got stopped out in the parking lot. Did y'all see that? That's crazy. They held him at gunpoint outside till the police got there. MJ Smith says, oh, wait a minute, hold on. DeAndre, what's good? He said, let me catch up with the screen. DeAndre said, groups and acts that can headline are not getting any younger. That's true. But it's not really them that I'm worried about. It's their crowd. Angela Kinney said cornbread. Yeah, you know how people have their own little side. We call little booths that sell food cornbread booths. You know, they got the hidden recipes. You know what I'm saying, Angela? Like grandma's recipe. We used to call them cornbreads and stuff because I think that's a Louisiana thing. I think that's a New Orleans thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to be honest. Maybe I said something that my mind sometimes go back to these certain spaces and places. I think I was thinking New Orleans, and they used to call them like cornbread shops, or, you know, and sometimes I do that. Some of the things I go back to, it's where I was thinking when I was living certain places. There's another thing back in New Orleans when we were younger. When you go to school, just like in the hood where we from, everybody get a nickname, right? In New Orleans, it's the same way, but we're a little bit different. Where we're from, you would get a nickname based on how you look, how you smell, how dusty you were, whatever. If you had cow breath, they call you, they call you cow breath. In New Orleans, you get a nickname based on what your mother do or your daddy do, like whatever your parents do for a living. Like one of my best friends there, he was cool with me. He played the drums, but they called him Toolbox. And I asked him, like, the first month that I was there, I was like, hey, bro, like, why do they call you Toolbox? You play the drums. You know what I'm saying? Like, I look at people and I judge, I give them the nickname based on what they do themselves. And he was like, nah, man, they call me Toolbox because my father is a plumber or a mechanic or something. I don't remember what it was, but it was something that required a toolbox. And I said, oh, okay. So their culture is, we give you a nickname based on what your father does or what your mama do. That's how they do it. So cornbread, Angela Kinney, comes from Louisiana because of how they add ingredients and do a lot of different stuff. And they call them cornbread shops. When you set up a booth or set up something that has a old school recipe of a family or something in it. All right. One last thing before I get into the main topic that I know most people are here for. Dr. Umar Johnson. That's not what you're here for, but I just wanted to bring it up. I'm going to skip that. I'm going to skip Dr. Umar Johnson and get to what we're here for today. Okay. Dr. Umar Johnson is asking the public for some money like he always does, but this time it's private. It's just personal. Ross says, did Lil Rand mean you all the time? Lil Rand, no. I think I understand what you're saying, but no. Yeah, Dr. Umar is now asking people for personal money instead of for the school. He says, and I would play the clip, but I don't really want to do it like that today. I want to. Everybody had a cornbread, Stephen Speed. Everybody had a cornbread. I mean, in their neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? If you came outside eating some of your granny's cornbread or coming out eating some, whatever it is, baked beans, that's what your nickname was. Tracy Dillon. Tracy, that's your man's. She said no to Umar, period. Yeah. He's reached Troy. Yeah. Umar has reached an all-time new low. He's now asking people for money for his personal use. I just never really went in on the brother because I don't think it's fair that I go say something bad about him on this platform and then have him on the show, or had him on the show and then didn't challenge him on a lot of the things that I kind of knew was going on. So I really I left it alone. I generally do that, and I do that around a lot of people that I know are just saying things or taking the community for a ride and just trying to, you know, grift off of them. I don't entertain it, to be honest with you. I asked him a couple questions about the school and school choice and his blueprint of what he was trying to do and him opposing school choice. None of that made sense to me when we had a personal phone call. And that's me giving you way too much information. When I talk to him on, you know, away from the cameras and just strictly on the phone, those conversations were not going in a direction that I can understand. It was just, there was just too much in there that just wasn't making any sense. So I, since then, pretty much left all that stuff alone. I was really looking forward to having, I forgot exactly what organization brought him to Cincinnati. I was really looking forward to becoming a moderator that night, but some things fell out. My scheduling was bad. That was going to be very challenging for me, quite frankly. That was going to be challenging because I had got to a boiling point where I knew certain things, and it was going to be hard for me to hear what we need to be doing in our community from someone that I know is not necessarily making them same. They're not practicing what they preach. That was going to be that was going to be a little challenging for me. But yeah, what he's doing right now, and this is what I would say to those who may be considering sending money. Okay. I don't want to tell you don't. I don't want to tell you not to or don't, because it may be one of them situations where you're just trying to help someone because you have a different sort of respect for them than maybe I do, or maybe someone else on here does. But I do want to give you a little bit of information. The reason why he's saying he needs money is because, hold on, is because someone stole some of his money. Okay, Angela Kinney, he was with the Frederick Douglass group. I remember that. And when you say things like that, you have to be careful, because there's people out here that have had their identity stolen. There's people who have had their accounts hacked. And we actually know what the process is. Okay. When you have your identity stolen or your account hacked or something of that nature, the banks can see that it's probably fraudulent. Okay. And they will give you your money back, contingency, that they prove that this is a that it's a, you know, a fraudulent situation. They don't just leave you out there like that. You know what I'm saying? Like if they stole $1,000 out of your account, the bank would usually reimburse you on the contingency that this is all of your undoing, and you didn't know who did it, and these are fraudulent checks and fraudulent payments and fraudulent deductions. They will give you this money back, maybe in different stages. You're not just flat out ass broke. They'll put you in a position where you could at least maneuver and make, you know. So I don't believe when someone says to me, I need money, I'm completely broke because the bank is holding all of my money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't believe that. And the bank, if that's how they left you, they probably don't believe you either. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they probably don't believe that this is fraudulent. I don't know. There's several people. When I went through my situation, I made it known, and there were people in here, and they said, yeah, that happened to me too. I lost my money, and the bank put it back in, because I was worried. You guys, I was like, what the hell? What's going on? Like, you know what I'm saying? People were buying stocks. I didn't even heard this company before. They were buying stuff, but yet the bank put it back in, and I had to sign off saying I have no idea what these transactions are. I had no part of this. I didn't sign off. I didn't sign that check. I didn't make this payment. And they reimburse you the money. So for you to get on the internet and say that I don't have, he said it out his mouth. I was so shocked. He said, I don't have any money. All my money is in that, I forgot the name of the school, but it's in that school's name. And then he put his Cash App out there and his, and I'm like, bro, this shit is crazy to me. And just think, excuse me, guys, just think there's people that's booking him. Yeah, there you go. Troy says same. Bank put money in my account while they investigated. That's exactly what they do. And if you're found to be into this fraudulent thing of saying that someone stole your money, but they really didn't, and it was you, then that's a federal crime. You're going to jail. Well, you're going to be charged with something. I don't know if you're going to jail, but you'll be charged with a crime. And that all being said, so you got to be careful. When I hear, that's the telltale. I need no more evidence of what he's really working and what he's really doing. He's booked in cities. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. That all being said, man, I hate to see that happen to someone that seems to care so much for my people. And I'm going to tell you something. Some of you may not like this, and I'm going to cut this conversation with these last remarks about it. God don't like ugly. When you mock God, when you tell people that God has nothing to do with this and nothing to do with that, and God this and God that, and Black people believe in Jesus too much, that's a heavy hill to climb once you get your wake-up call. Because God gave that man a gift to be able to unite people, to be able to get them together and listen to message. And if you want to destroy your gift or take advantage of people with a gift that God gave you, then be my guest. But when you discredit God and when you discredit belief, then sometimes you have to, you wake up on the wrong side of your gift, because now he has to utilize, and what I mean by that is now he has to utilize his gift in a degrading kind of a way. If you understand what I'm saying. And I wish I could have a conversation with bro. He probably would never even answer the phone at this point. Well, he might answer the phone now because he might think that I'm calling to try to see if I can help him out or something. I don't know. I'm just saying that, I can't, y'all know how I am about the family thing. And when I seen the situation with him telling, the community how they need to handle their families and be in their daughters' lives and sons' lives and this and this and that, but yeah, you don't do that. You don't even take care. This is once again what I tell y'all. Here we are with men out here trying to lead a community, but they don't even lead their own family. They don't even lead their own household. And that's it's a very polarized situation. You can't not see it. You see what I'm saying? So I don't understand why people credit people that you can clearly see the flaw, the lie. I wouldn't do that, Angela. I wouldn't call him live. I really wouldn't do that. I mean, it might be pretty cool in a certain kind of way, a certain kind of show. A person that has a certain type of show, yeah, that might be pretty cool. But nah, that's not really my style. And to be honest with you, the number may be different. I haven't called that man in probably a year. I haven't had a conversation with him probably in a year. I think where we fell off was where I fell off, because he's never really been on with what I'm talking about. But I believe we fell off when we had a discussion about the school and school choice. And you would think that somebody that's opening up a school, you would think that they would have a problem. They would not have a problem with school choice, because school choice would allow a parent to choose where they go to school and use the state subsidy. You see what I'm saying? You would think that that's what they would want to do, but he had, I mean, where else are these parents supposed to get $12,000 or $13,000 to go to your school if you don't allow school choice to be an option for your school? It just didn't make any sense. This is a private school. You're calling it the Frederick Douglass Academy, I believe. And I don't know. Just sound like a bunch of different stuff. Something I didn't want to be part of. And I didn't want to promote it, to be honest with you. So that all being said, let's move on. Let's move on. Caller, please call back if you feel like it. I know I got a little long with it there. Linda Reed said, put him on the show. I want to see this scammer. He got massive videos, Linda. He has a ton of videos. He's on shows. He's been on Roland Martin. Well, he wasn't on Roland Martin. He was on Roland Martin's show when Roland Martin was on CNN. I remember watching that one. They were challenging his credentials of being a psychiatrist, or no, his education. They were challenging that. And he's very articulate. He's very believable, and that's cool. That's cool. People book him and come. He gets shows across the country, and he has a base. He has a base, and that's cool. But here's the one thing that I will give him credit for. I'll give him credit that he doesn't say anything outside of the Jesus thing, which is probably the worst you can do. But at least when he goes into communities or when he's speaking to Black folks, there is a level of uplifting. There is a level of, this is what we need to do as a community. Now, you know how I am. I'm not a fan of, this is what we need to do, and you're countering it, like you're doing the opposite. I do have an issue with that, but I will give him credit where credit is due. He is on point on a lot of issues. He's on point on a lot of issues, but I don't think he's in a position to make the differences that he's talking about himself. I think he was in a position to do the school. I just don't think the school has ever really been something that he was serious about doing once he seen the work that it took to do it. I seen people that had less stage, had less information, and they pursued the dream of opening up their own school and didn't have nowhere near the type of popularity or not that Dr. Umar had, or the money fundraising that man had. The national stage, that he could put the GoFundMe and the donation stuff. He's had it better than anybody when it came down to any of that. So if you really wanted to do the school, it could have been done. I think there's some red tape somewhere that he may have even created. You feel me? Like there was some issues, there were some things going on in his attempt to open these schools, and I kind of found it to be a little suspect. Let's just say that. All right. Yeah, Fame, I agree with that. See, that's what I'm talking about. He said when Dr. Umar Johnson talking about the drug schools put kids on, the dude is money. He could write a series of books on it and win a Pulitzer. I agree. The problem is it takes more than just talking when your actions don't meet the words. But yeah, he has a lot of information. He can give us a lot of information. But I think you got to be 100 in yourself. You can't sit back here. It's almost like them brothers that talk about the white man and the white girl. You got to do this. Your family don't interact with the white race and this and that. And they hitting white girls in the back. You know what I'm saying? In the background. You know what I'm saying? It's that type of shit. It's that type of stuff. We all done seen him looking at some of them white. Let me go on to the phone line. Let me go to the phone lines, man, and get the show going. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
What's up, Wyatt?
Hey, twin, how you doing, man?
I'm all right. Did you watch the fight Saturday?
Which one, bro? There was like 3 fights.
Well, Charissa.
Oh, Clarissa. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that was a good fight. You think she go fight Layla?
No.
You don't think so?
Nah, I think Layla's too old, man. And I mean that because in fighting, in that sport, age really does matter, man. And if Layla hasn't had a fight in 20 years, probably longer than that. And Layla was not fighting the type of competition, the level of competition of what these girls are today. I think Clarissa Shield would probably hurt that lady.
Yeah, I've been watching Angel Reese and Kaylin Clark sit out last week or two. You think they trying to send a message to the NBA?
I was trying to go to that game, to be honest with you, and they said that Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese wasn't playing. Yeah. I was not even.
Yeah, they already said they won't go play.
Yeah,
you think they sending a message or something?
No, I think Caitlin Clark is actually I think she's hurt. She has a groin injury. I actually was watching the game that she got hurt in. Angel Reese, I don't know what's going on with her. She came into the WNBA injured though. I give that little girl credit. She still played.
Yeah.
She came in. Angel Reese came in with a leg injury from college.
Yeah. I was just thought, they was trying to send a message to the NBA, or, WNBA to get paid or something like that.
Look, I want women to get paid, but they have to be realistic of what the business is. You understand? You got to understand your value. You can't overvalue yourself to a business like the WNBA that's not really there yet. You feel me? Like you can't go in demanding, something when you're not in demand. You feel me? You can't do that. The WNBA is not in demand. And that being said, I don't think the NBA at this point is in demand. I don't think the NBA is at a point that it could be. I don't know if they're even making money, to be honest with you.
A little. Not
Maybe.
that much.
I don't know.
They getting an ugly contract, but I don't know. I think dude is a fraud. He talk a good game. He start off a good game. I give him credit for that. But after that, when you start talking about white Jesus and all that crazy stuff, my brother, right now, you gonna need Jesus right now. See? You can be up and God can take you down.
See? You see?
You cannot keep pump faking out here the community, man. If you ain't putting no work, just like you say, ain't take care of your kids, and your kids like my daddy a fraud, this and all that. Well, how you gonna tell me how to raise my kids then, bro? Come on, man. It don't work like that.
I'm with you.
You's a fraud. At last month, Wyatt, he said somebody broke into school. And the door handles and all that. Now here somebody took your money, and I think you believe in Africa or something like that when he visited Africa. Which way? What is it, man? You acting like a dope fiend out here. Come on, man. A straight dope fiend. Come on, man.
I mean, here's what happens, man. Guys that generally, this comes back to the game of the slick tongue. You know what I'm saying? Like guys that slick tongue people out of money.
Right. When they took that figure from you, did you beg the community, man, put up a GoFundMe page?
No,
PayPal?
No, because my situation, it don't work like that. I know why. I know what he's talking about is some bullshit. Because if something happens to your account, you can go into a branch. Even a branch manager, a simple branch manager would just call security. You know what I'm saying? And they put your stuff. It don't just happen like right away. You do have to answer some questions. You do have to sign off on some paperwork. But they will reimburse you that money, and they won't leave you on crap. They might not, give you every dime for dime. No, they didn't put every piece of dime of my money. They put it in the investigators' hands. The investigators will release probably a third of the money without any questions. That way you'll have something. And then they'll go through the investigation process, and probably each day some money will go back in. You know what I'm saying? But in this case, this man is like, I don't have anything. Send it to me now. And you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn, like it's real bad. It has to be real bad.
I paid 10%, $1,000 about offer, man. And, my bank was like, is this you trying to send it to Zelle? I was like, yes, it's me. They give me notification, just like Green Dot sent me a notification. I put money on there. They say, and it was like probably $60 left. And they said, did you try to purchase $32? I was like, no. I said, what was it for? He said, coffee. Some coffee? I don't even drink coffee. Yeah, somebody tried to purchase $32. Of my car. I'm like, what? I don't drink coffee. So yeah, that man a phony and a fraud.
And let me just say this. Let me say this, Twin, on that to the bank account stuff. So people, because let's make it a lesson a little bit. One of the things that I actually did do is I put this fraud alert on my account.
Yeah.
I didn't have that. I don't know why I never had it. I mean, my bookkeeper, nobody ever put me on game on that. But get that fraud alert. I have $1 million worth of coverage for like $20. You feel me? It's a very small price to pay. I pay for it now just so I won't have to deal with that stuff anymore. All right. I know probably some people would say, well, I don't need no $1 million. Well, you might, because guess what? One of my transactions from my account paid somebody's mortgage off. Now, I don't know who's dumb enough to steal money out of an account of $85,000 to a mortgage company to pay someone's mortgage off. I don't know like how you thought that was ever going to work. But for those that say, I don't need $1 million worth of coverage, well, that you probably do, because it's not how much you have. It's how much people spend of what you don't have. People could write bad checks, make, purchases and put you in the negative. And you may not have that money there, but yet they still, they've just jumped it off and now they get away with it. But yeah, so yeah, you may not need $1 million for yourself because you may not have $1 million sitting there, but it's not for that. It's for the purchases and it covers the illegal activity, not what's in your account. So go ahead, Twin. What were you gonna say, bro?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So yeah, I went to the concert of the Jazz Fest both nights.
Friday.
But
was it Friday and Saturday?
Both nights I stood out, but Saturday I gave my tickets to my sister.
Was it Friday, Saturday?
I went both nights.
Okay.
I stood out, so I ain't go in. Saturday I just gave it to my sister. Her hard working and everything, just to get out the house or whatever. So I gave it to her. I mean, it was all right though. Okay. Especially L and all that Earth, Wind, and Fire. So I think, Ron Isley, I seen him when he was sitting down in the chair.
I am a Ron Isley fan.
But, they need to, mix it up sometime and everything. Like, the crowd from last year, like Neo, and I forgot the other brother, Orlando, something like that. I forgot, London or something.
Okay.
That kid, they did all right. That was the nice crowd or whatever. But when you get somebody like Ron Isley and got to sit in the chair, like you said, Al Green, man, I ain't feeling this.
Let me just say this. You know what, bro? That's a great point. Because I just said something about Al Green that I didn't realize. I didn't realize that the Isley brother guy has to sit in a chair too. But now there's a difference, I think. I think Ron Isley's music is he can sit down in a chair and sing that type of shit anyway. You see what I'm saying? He's just cool, laid back. It's kind of hard to watch guys sing dance tunes and on the floor tunes sitting in a chair versus somebody that sings ballads and kind of sings these melody songs, you know what I'm saying? And they sitting down, even if he didn't need the chair, it would still be cool if he sat in a chair and sang those songs. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion, bro. That's
okay. This is my last storytelling. Okay. And everything. Yep, the banks.
Okay, let's get at it.
Okay, Wyatt. It's a problem when we do it, but when they do it, it's okay. It's called mind your business. Mess around and find out. See, that lady, that Tracy Mackey, whatever, Trisha Mackey on that Fox 19, she don't bring the story right and paint the picture like it's us fault, black folks' fault. And then you got to look at it because your boy coming on, Andre Ewing, the ex-cop that retired last month, I believe. He's coming on Lincoln Ware Show Thursday.
Okay.
As somebody like him that's been on the force and been around the community and everything, and been there 30-some years, I believe, and can tell you what's really going on between the city manager, the mayor, and the chief. When they said don't pick her, y'all should never, hire her as chief. Vote her in, whatever the case may be.
Hired her.
So hired or whatever. So if he telling y'all this, why y'all not listening and everything? But people want to blow past it like he's a great man. She's a good. No, man, it's a problem here. And then like somebody said earlier, if them local leaders or whatever don't hit the street over there, how you gonna know what's going on? The council people, how you gonna know what's going on? This year, wasn't the people. It wasn't no kids really, engaging like they used to, but it was a grown up. I mean, he did wrong for knocking out, but you don't get in big folks' business like this. Like, stay on the sideline. You don't do that. Yeah, the dude was out of his body, but they keep on pump faking on it like it's the dude in the red shirt that really started or whatever. No, it was the white man that started it.
Okay.
They buffed that up. It was the white man that started that whole mess. So they labeled it and put it out as the black folks started. No, man.
I don't know if I heard a report that said black folks started anything. I don't think I heard it.
Man, they focus on they not showing the real part, the real video. Only thing they saying really focus on is black people that they started. That's all y'all need to focus on. They not really show the video how it really started with that white man starting, kicking it off. And you slap that disabled man. He's mental and he well known in the community. So this is what you get. And then you jump in it. No, stay out. It's too many of them. 50 against 2. No, stay back, baby. We just gonna have to run from this. But no, she I'm gonna help my husband. Okay. This is what you face. Then I think she grabbed the lady wig or something like that. The sister wig. You know how black folks is, sister. You grab that wig or, eyelashes, whatever it's on. And so, the chief got to really, the mayor really got to step up, man. Step his game up, because you is nowhere in sight. Last year was all, let's get this black reunion going, all this. You at the Walk of Fame. Where you at now, player? Come on, keep that same energy.
Well, I think he was at a convention. I think he was at a mayor's convention in Cleveland, from my understanding.
Oh, now it's a mayor's convention, huh? On the money-making event that come every year in Cincinnati. Well, maybe that builds the revenue in Cincinnati.
Maybe it just so happens to fall on the same weekend as the jazz festival. Yes, possibility that it happened. From my understanding, that's where he was at. Now, I'm not trying to justify anything or any of that, but I'm just curious, like what part here's what I want to know. Why is this racial? Who's making this racial?
If you look at the videos that the news been showing, the only thing they showing is when the brother stomped the man. They stomping the white guy and knocked the lady out. They not showing them how it really started from the get-go.
But wait a minute now. Hold on. Is how it started relevant to what happened during, people that weren't even involved in how it started? Is that relevant? I'm just curious.
No, not really.
Okay, so why is that?
Well, it can be relevant, because let me tell you, if y'all don't show us like we animals and savages and all that. They've been doing it for the last 400 years.
Well,
now they got this social media. Y'all got the top of videos down there on 4th Street. I'm pretty sure they got a lot of cameras down there. But don't sit up there and like we all doing this and all that. You get, it's called mind your business, man. You go down there and slap somebody, I come slap Wyatt, you go slap me back.
Yeah,
come on, man.
Yeah, and in most cases, to be honest with you, bro, how we grew up, people that I know, if somebody slapped me, we getting out the way and he gonna beat that dude ass. That's what it's right. That's what it's gonna be, and you should know that, twin. And everybody,
it ain't like that today. If we one fight, we all fight.
It may not be like that today. It may not be.
No, I'm telling you, that's how it is. One fight, we all fight now.
Well, I don't know.
They jumping you.
All right.
That's how it is today.
Okay.
So, man, that's crazy, man. So I think them leaders and man need to do a better job, man. Y'all can police everywhere else. But if I know this a money-making time that, I'm gonna beef up my security, my police.
Let me ask you a question, twin, about kind of like what we're talking about, what you're talking about here. I'm trying to figure out, why is this racial? Because I've seen videos, and y'all bear with me a little bit, because I've only seen a few videos of this, okay? My opinion is it's not racial. And let me tell you why it's not racial. The reason why it's not racial is because I didn't see black dudes do the same thing that the white boy did to the black guy in the red shirt. Y'all better listen to me before you start judging what I'm saying, because what a lot of y'all have done, if you continuously think that this is racial, that young man is going to get a federal charge. It is going to be. I don't know who was the smartest one and put all this video out there and was making it all, showing these videos. But you don't want a federal hate crime to be the charge here. Y'all can sit up here and say the white man started and all that old stuff and make it about race if you want to, instead of just making it a sloppy, drunk man's fight. Okay, and everybody was drunk and everybody was just out there fighting. But we are about to do something to this young man that y'all don't want to see happen. If you continuously say that this was the white man that started it and the white man is, what you're gonna have to show me, since we got video of every angle. And I know some people. Wait a minute, hold on. What they're going to have to do is you're gonna have to show some people that those white people were making. We got video of everything else. Show us the video of where they were making racial slurs. Show us the reason of why this is, see what I'm saying, a racial situation. You better keep it that it was just some men fighting. You better keep it that way. You better just say these are people who are fighting and not make it about race. because that's going to be a horrible situation for that young man and the young lady and the guy that hit the lady, the white lady, and put her to sleep. If y'all want to keep on making it and say it's about race, go right ahead. But you're not doing anybody any service. That's not justifying anybody's actions out there. All it's going to do is going to make it harder. I'm not going to say his name, Ron. You know I know him. I'm not going to say his name, but that's all they doing. See, they think they do. I didn't see people put this man on the video screen, put him on their page. His face. Damn, don't even, it's your day. Glorifying something that could send him to jail. All right, and see, we ain't looking at this the right way. It was a fight. That's what it was. Some drunk people had a fight. I don't agree with how a lot of people are looking at this, because if you look at it a certain way, it's going to be perceived a certain way, and there's going to have to be some video that's going to have to back up it not just being a fight, but it being.
Why they had the video on there, they took it down.
What video you referring to, bro?
The white man, when it all started, the N-word kicking the car, all that. They had that video, they took it down Facebook so fast. Oh, girl's right there when it happened. She was explaining it, they took it down so fast. But they left that when they beat the brakes off of when the brother beat him.
But you have to understand something, twin. As much as we want to say what we want to say,
man,
you can say whatever you want to say. We can be as disgusted as you want to be disgusted. But when they see an innocent person sitting in the middle of the street and people are coming up, stomping and kicking them in the head, that is, you do not want this to be a racial situation. You want it to be some guys just weren't getting along and had a fight. That's what you want it to be. I would take an local assault charge over what could be coming down the pipeline after watching those videos. Do you understand what I'm saying to you, bro? You should know of all people.
Yeah. All right, then that's all I have.
I mean, do you understand what I'm saying to you, bro?
Yeah, I understand.
Because what's going to happen if he gets a local assault charge? And the heroes, all the heroes that want to try to act like that they this and pro-black and the white man hit him and all that, y'all got bail money for my man's? Y'all got bail money? Y'all gonna pay his lawyer? Because if it's the way y'all want it to be, if y'all proud of that shit, they're going to get that man a federal charge. You understand what I'm saying? And if you look at the time differential in the two charges, you might change the way you're looking at it.
What is that considered, hate crime or something?
I'm sorry?
You say a federal charge. What is that, hate crime or something?
Yes.
Well.
Yes. And you got people congratulating him. You know, this man stood up over people and was doing WWE moves and all this old stuff, bro. I can't ride with that. You got a grown-ass man. I'm taking the color out of all of this. You got a grown-ass. Everybody got a problem with everybody's point of view. But nobody has a problem with what actually happened. Nobody cares that a grown-ass man hit a woman and knocked her out.
I ain't like that part, though.
Well, how could you like it? Can't nobody like any of it.
But if you minding your damn business, you minding your business, you walking up on me talking that yin-yang, Macho Man Randy Savage, all drunk. Man, I'm gonna check you, man. What's wrong with you, dude?
I'm gonna keep all my comments to myself, and the reason
why. But that issue with him knocking her out, I don't condone it. But wait your husband, your husband put you in that predicament. He put you in that jam, not me.
It doesn't
so
matter.
So you wanna jump and like a frog? Hey, this is the treatment you go get. Come on, why? You gotta have it, man. Come on, man.
Listen to what I'm saying.
You getting in the business. You should have said, leave me alone.
Listen to what I'm saying.
I'm out of my business, but you drunk and all that, talking crazy. No.
Listen to what I'm saying to you, twin. In that video, which is going to be used in court, all these people that got all this to say today, they're gonna be saying it's gonna be a whole different song and dance months to come. And the reason why is because what I seen in a video is I seen a man get kicked and stomped in the head, and then I seen a guy go in his back pocket and steal his wallet. See, this is it's way worse than we want to talk about all this other stuff, but we don't really want to talk about why, what would make somebody do all of that. Like if somebody slapped me in my face, which they got a problem with me, I'm gonna handle that. You understand what I'm saying, bro? I don't need somebody to steal them. See, there wasn't no heads up. It was people out there getting stole. You understand what I'm saying? That's crazy. Look, you don't need that. Take the white and black out of it and just call it some
Well,
drunk
that's the
people.
new, man.
I don't care. I don't care. You're not doing. Y'all are not helping this situation, bro. Y'all are not helping this situation for the people that you think did the right thing or did the wrong thing, but they may have stepped out of bounds a little bit.
I mean, it was all of us wrong, but why? That's the new. Hey, one fight, we all fight.
No,
that's how it is, Wyatt. That's how it is. Ain't no 1-on-1 really no more, man. If it is gonna be a gunfight or something like that, other than that, man, man, look at the videos from the fake and all that, man. Look at it in Avondale. They used to have a dang on jump off in Avondale. Used to go live, Wyatt.
Listen.
Come on, this ain't nothing new.
Listen, that makes my point even more. What areas did you just talk about?
The Fay, Avondale, everywhere they going live with. Ain't no one-on-one no more. They jumping.
So here is the strategy, because some of us want to be right so bad, and I don't just mean you, twin. I'm talking about people. They want to make it an argument, tongue wrestle, and all that old stuff. The strategy should be this. Like I told you, it was a fight. It was a fight. It was a disagreement between men, and some women jumped in. Some women got hit. Some women got hit by men. Leave it at that, because what's in that video, when the charges come, y'all gonna say you're gonna say some different stuff. You're gonna see some robbery in there. You're gonna see some felonious assault, and you don't want to see hate crime. Trust what I'm telling you, because and my point is this: when you mention those neighborhoods, twin, we all have seen videos of kids down there fighting, doing the same thing that we seen over the weekend, right? Did we not see a little black boy get jumped by 7 or 8 black kids down on Fountain Square? Did we not see that on Channel 5, Channel 9, Channel 12? Did we not see that? Okay, so it ain't about the white people got jumped by the black people. It was the people got into a fight with some other people. Do you understand? Because anybody can get it. The little black boy got jumped by some black kids. That's what people who jump do. Don't make it about them white people got jumped by those black people because the white man hit him and it was racial and they were saying stuff. You can't go there with it. I'm telling you, a lot of people are not serving. Y'all know who, they not serving him right, trying to be right about a situation like this. They're not serving him right, because I'm gonna tell you, when the charges start coming, y'all gonna be shocked when you see these charges. You're gonna be shocked what they charging them with. You're gonna be like, oh, that's the system. They getting us again. And what's gonna happen is, if one man got slapped, it's the new, like you said, one man gets slapped, but then here come all these punches from all these different areas. That all has to be justified. Now, we've seen a bunch of video of the fight, the initial slap. We've seen all of that, right? We've seen the initial slap, then we've seen the punches. But what we're hearing is, now, there was nobody with a camera or a phone that called 911, from my understanding. Now, we got all this video coverage of all these situations, right? But I'm going to need to hear or show me a video of these white people, if y'all want to call it like that, saying these derogatory words, these things that made it heat up into a racial situation. They don't have a video of that. If they did, somebody would have already posted it. So let's keep it that way.
It was taken down.
No, I don't believe that. I don't believe it.
Okay.
Twin, I don't believe it. I don't believe, and I don't want to believe it because it's not going to help the situation here. Okay, as much as people might not even feel where I'm going, I'm telling you, you don't want it to be that these white people said some derogatory shit and they took a beat down for saying it, because that's not going to save you in court. It's not going to save you in court.
Okay. All right, then, Wyatt.
All right, man.
All right.
Thanks for engaging with us, twin. Sorry, guys, if y'all don't really understand. I don't want to see the man go to jail for 10 years. I don't agree with what happened. I don't agree with people getting punched. I don't agree. Look, let's just put it like this. This is how I know it was just a fight. Because the same black people that were down there, it was the same black folks that was trying to break it up. Everybody that was involved was not involved in the matter of they were throwing punches. Some people were standing in between trying to break it up. But you know why I know that it's not a racial thing? Because it is. Look at the black folks that tried to break it up. You see how they was real reluctant? They really didn't want to get in the middle of it. You know why? Because they would have got it too. They didn't want to stand up and push somebody, touch somebody. They didn't want to do that because they know that they would have been hit too. The people that look for just give me a reason to beat your ass, they don't care what color you are. They don't care. I'm just trying to tell you in a way that's we're not helping the situation. We're not helping the situation by sitting here trying to justify that these people said something that triggered black folks to act that way. That's not helping. All right. I'm just trying. Look, I might not be your favorite. I may not be your favorite here. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to justify bullshit. And then I'm not going to help send somebody to the federal penitentiary. I'm not going to do that. If y'all don't like what I'm talking about or don't really want to get on board or whatever, that's fine. All right. I didn't start this program for that type of shit. You got a few programs that'll piggyback and rock this shit the way you need to hear it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be part of sending that man to jail. I'm not going to do it. Let me go to the phone line. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, good afternoon, Wyatt. My name's Edsel.
Hey, Edsel. How you doing today?
Pleasant, per usual. How are you doing?
I'm holding on, brother. What's good? What's on your mind?
Enriched and ennobled at your podcast and you coming out here and being a grown-up about the shit.
Appreciate it.
You know, I mean, like you said, when dude slapped him, everybody else supposed to get out of the way. Let them handle that one-on-one.
That's how it's supposed to be done.
You know, miss me with that new shit or whatever the last caller was talking about. Like, that new my ass. Like, you slapped me. Like, dude should have fired off immediately. Anyway.
Wait a minute, hold on. New when you get in court, say new to the judge and to the grand jury and see what happens.
The prosecutor, yeah, they're going, hey, come on, Al. Let that dog get close to me like that.
You all right out there?
Right. Yeah, I'm good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. I appreciate you being in somebody's walking a pit bull, 130-pound pit bull, the person probably 110 pounds.
No, the pit bull walking them.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I'm reading these comments in the thing, and I'm like, damn, these are people I thought were reasonable.
Mm-mm.
It's like the minute you jumped him, that's what made the video sensational. I mean, you started jumping, then we got our aggressive ass women again, kicking people in the head. You know, I saw the woman whose weave got snatched, she kicked him in the head. I saw that. You know, those kicks to the head, those are all, each one is a charge. You know, on every person that did it, it's like you didn't have to do all that. Racial or not, I never thought of it as a racial issue. I was just looking like, oh, this ain't gonna fly with nobody. You know, and what made it just over the top was the cold socking that woman. That's what just like, you know, I mean, it got to the point where Elon Musk is commenting on it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
No,
Elon Musk and other state senators are state senators from other states are commenting on this whole thing. It's like, are you people stupid?
Well,
there's no justification for this.
Right before I hit the power, I'm sorry, let me interrupt 1 second. The floor is yours. Right before I hit the power took play today, I seen that someone asked J.D. Vance. He was on the stage talking, and a reporter asked him about this situation. And they asked him because he's from Cincinnati. So it's already got all the way up to the White House, basically. You see what I'm saying, Fame?
Yeah.
And we can say whatever we want to say. But the truth of the matter is, people really, they want to be part of the know, or they want to act like they know something that others don't know. And they're burying the people that were involved. I mean, there's some people that deserve probably to face some accountability on their actions, you know, like stealing out these people's pockets and shit like that. Like, we trying to justify.
They ran his pockets.
They went in their pockets, bro.
Now
So you know people gonna think I'm making that up because I'm the only one that's brave enough to tell the truth about what happened. They're gonna
that's a robbery on camera. That's robbery,
bruh. The man that was trying to break it up, the white dude with the glasses, I don't know what he may have said an hour or two before that. I don't know. I don't care. But when you out there trying to separate this situation, and somebody actually runs up from behind and steal him, and he hits the ground, and then one dragging by his leg out to the middle of the street, and then another guy run over and he grabs his, the wallet. I got the video. I just don't want my show to get zapped, but I could show you this scene. We could say all we want to talk about. If you're gonna beat somebody's ass because of some racial shit or whatever, just let it be about that. But to go in their pocket or take somebody's watch and hit a woman you see all these girls we got out here in the streets that was involved in stomping somebody in the back of the head when they wasn't looking. That's the girl that you send to beat somebody's ass. If you want to go get a woman, if you want a girl to take a fall, you send a girl to put her down. You don't, as a grown-ass man, what man hits a woman in the middle of the street and put her to sleep like that? I don't care what color you are. What man does that?
He lined her up.
And this is the same culture that'll look at that man and if I bet you this, I bet you that wasn't the first woman he ever hit.
Probably not. Shout out to the bro. He got a cartoon as Vernon something. Like he said, this is the same ethos that we had with the Hinton guy. People out there,
it's the same vibe.
Celebrating it. It's like that makes it worse.
Same energy. Now, let me say something to you, if you don't mind, Fame, because you're the perfect guy to be on the airwaves with when I make this comment. Because you and I kind of had the same, we go in the same direction on this. We don't agree on a lot of things. Well, we don't agree on some things, but we agree on a lot of things in my mind. But now, here's what I'll say to the people that need to hear this. All right, and I'm gonna say it right here and right now. Y'all wonder why our children act the way they do? Them wasn't kids down there. But you know what?
Right.
Those same kids, baby daddies and baby mamas out there. How much you bet? How much you bet? Now, put that shit on tape, send it up, wrap it up, and put it back out in about 8 months when this case come up. That's all I'm going to say. Because I told y'all, we don't have bad kids. We got bad Fame?
Bad adults.
We got bad parents. That's what we got.
Parents.
That was somebody's daddy that shot. How much you bet that was somebody's daddy who punched that lady and knocked her the fuck out? How much you bet? And if conflict resolution is dealt with like this, what are we teaching our children? See, we don't have bad kids. We got bad parents. Go ahead, Fame. Floor is yours.
No, you good. Because I don't have much to say because there's some topics that come up. There's only one reasonable right take, and that's the one. Like, you didn't need to do all that. There should have been a one-on-one. Dude slapped one dude. I don't know if he spit on him, whatever. He slapped one dude. Open hand slap. Yeah. Hell, you seen those in duels. Back in the day, the guys take 10 paces and slap each other with the glove or whatever. That's the most ancient form of disrespect. Slapping a man in the face, but he slapped one guy.
Yeah, but
one dude, let him get his shit off. Maybe he wins it, maybe he doesn't. But once guys start going to the ground, that's when you break it up.
Exactly. Here's my thing on that, Fame. I'm glad you said that because I was thinking about that this morning in the shower. I said, look, if I was dude in the red shirt, the guy that got slapped by the guy, I would have lost it too. I'm not sitting here trying to be Mr. Goodbar, y'all. I'm not suggesting that I wouldn't have been in a fight. But what I'm suggesting is I would have did it. I would have had to fight, dude. Because let me just say this to you. Fame said the right thing about the slap. As a man, it's like the Will Smith situation. If you smack me, that's more disrespectful than a punch. As a man, you better punch me in my chest. You better punch me in my face. But if you smack me, you smacking me like I'm a bitch and we about to fight. That's it. I don't need people coming from the sidelines punching and stealing this dude. I got it. You feel me? I got it. And then we'll fight till we get to the end of it. But all that other stuff, totally unnecessary. Totally unnecessary. You call me what you want. Maybe you on the wrong show today. All right.
Right.
But I'm handling my business on my own. Even if I have to cheat on that fight, even if he get out the gate on me. But I'm gonna do what I gotta do. But I don't need Johnny Ronnie. I don't need all that other shit coming from different directions. Those was people standing there looking for a reason. And that's what happened. A reason happened, and it jumped off a bunch of other shit, and that reason wasn't necessary. Red shirt dude was going after him too. A brother came in between them and separated them like he should have. And then what happened? The dude came in. The other guy came in, got close. He got in that man's space again, and then he slapped him. Feel me? And to be honest with you, my reaction would have been just like the dude in the red shirt. Now, I don't know what happened before any of that. I can't speak to that. I just know if you slap me as a grown-ass man, we gonna fight.
Right. Well, it looked like they was trying to chest up and do something and, never really materialized. It's funny because I remember we were sitting before a youth football practice. This is probably 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was sitting there with some ladies, the cheerleading coaches. I'm one of the football coaches. And these two grown ass men, actually, if you don't mind me saying his name, one of them was the late December. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yeah, December Lamb.
Yeah. One of them was him, and another guy. They talking, they chesting up, and I'm telling those ladies, they are like, they about to fight. I'm like, no, they're not. They're not gonna fight till somebody say something about their dick. And sure enough, the other guy told December, man, you can't hold. No, December told dude that. He said, you couldn't hold my job. I was like, here we go now. Then no more than 3 seconds later, a punch was thrown. Then they locked up. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So I just don't get, like, why do we think that, like, I've said it a million times on your podcast, Emmanuel's podcast, the other nigga who had a podcast back in the day. I said it on all you guys' podcasts. Getting called a racial slur is not a free pass to start whooping ass.
It's not, but you can't tell people that.
There's consequences behind that.
You can't tell people that, but it's the truth. That's why I said wait till it go to court. People gonna have their feelings gonna be in. So let's nip it in the bud now that it's not a racial situation. Let's not help the prosecutor let's not help the federal prosecutor here. That's all. Do you understand where I'm going with that, Fang?
Absolutely. I know exactly what you were going to say.
But people want me to be the bad guy. I saw you in the
group talking that.
I'm sorry.
I know exactly what your commentary today was going to be about in the group. So you're like, I'm about to lose some people today. Anytime you say that, I know that you're about to say something that's going to upset black folks.
Yeah, well, sometimes.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like sometimes you got to deal with it.
Yeah, and
you got to get upset. Because this was totally unnecessary. I don't care who started it. That doesn't mean 6 people need to jump in.
Yeah,
and a fight was just a straight up heads up fight. There was no weapons. No guns, no nothing. It was just hands. Just handle that.
I mean, if it was kids, if it was children, our young youth that we see do this type of stuff, it's a different conversation. But when you got grown men who handle conflict resolution like this, there's an issue because they want everybody to come to the rescue through words and say that it was justified, or the reason why this happened is because it was racist and the man said something racial and, oh, y'all didn't see the slap. Well, okay, I get it. You're absolutely right. The man shouldn't have slapped the dude and he deserved a beat down, but he deserved a beat down by the dude that he slapped. It didn't take him to get body slammed or to get jumped on by 3 dudes and then kicked in the head by women, guys. All that type of shit, bro. Nobody can justify that shit. Anybody, just delete me now. If you sitting here thinking that I'm about to be the dude that's going to be like, yeah, he deserved to get his ass beat by the whole strip. That's fine. We ain't got to agree with that. But all I'm telling you is go down there in court and help his ass since you on his team. Go down there. I'll get you a t-shirt that say all that. You know what I'm saying? Get on his, work his corner. All that shit down in the courthouse. Because he's not the only one they getting. They gonna get the little girl that was stumped. What did the man slap her too? Did the man slap the little girl that was kicking the guy in the head? Did he slap the man that hit the woman in the face and knocked her out?
Now,
let me just say this one last thing. If that happened,
it wasn't on camera.
Right. Let me say this one last thing, fam. Let me say this one last thing about this. I just want to know, y'all do know that those were older people. All right? They were older people. You don't understand the risk that you taking when you punch a motherfucker that old. They might get up 20 minutes later, but you don't know what damage you have done to that person internally. You don't know if this person gonna live another 6 months. I just had a young man that I know that I love dearly face a situation where he shot a guy. The guy lived. He got out of the hospital. 6 months later, he died of the injuries of that gunshot. He only shot him in the arm. He got out of jail because the dude didn't press charges. Now the guy get out of jail and he living his life. He trying to be normal. 6 months later, the older man that got shot by this kid dies. The prosecutor come back, the police come back and press charges on this young man for murder because it was due to injury. It was due to complications of the injury. And that man died. So now if this lady or if these people that got kicked in the head, God willing that they don't die later, but it's a possibility that they could be facing internal bleeding and a bunch of other stuff. Is anybody thinking about that? No, they're not.
Miss me with the white lady shit. Miss me with the white lady shit. Her head hit the ground flat. Like, you know, like she went straight back and like when Holmes, like Larry Holmes, when he got dropped by Ernie Shaver, like she went straight back, you know, and her head hit the ground. She got blood coming out of either her mouth or nose. She looks like she's dead. It's like, that's not good. That lady's got to have some type of brain injury. There's no way she doesn't. And I don't care there's another video of two fat white ladies fighting and whatnot. You know, miss me with the equality shit. That's an elementary concept. If you believe into equality as a 50-year-old black person in America, you're dumber than you look. Yeah, you know, if you don't realize by now that America's policies and ethos was not made to meet the what's the word I'm looking for? Was just not made in black folks' general interest. If you don't realize that by now, then you're dumber than you look. Like I don't, you know, I don't care what white folks do.
In other words,
I don't like seeing black folks behave like that.
Right. I just can't see a justification. I don't see any justification. No, I'm with you. I just don't see any justification. And I don't know what could have been said or what could have been done. I don't know. But when you start adding all that other stuff in there, bro, I have videos of this stuff. I don't really want to play it because of the disgust. And here's the thing. I think people need to understand that this is just something. This is a cultural thing. This thing happens. This same thing happened to the little 15-year-old little brother that was downtown that was jumped by a bunch of people. It's happened to the white man that got beat up right there on that corner by the 8 or 9 guys.
Though. But that's the new.
It doesn't matter.
Says a 45-year-old man. Nigga, please. Grow up some goddamn time. I'm hopping off of here, Wyatt.
All right, brother.
I'll holler at you.
Talk
Be
to
well.
You. Thanks, man. Thanks for engaging. That was Fane. Etzel. My bad. That was Etzel. Guys, I don't think y'all understand what I'm saying here, man. Do you guys know that people have been posting the people who were involved like it was a trophy, like making it their day? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's intentional. Maybe it was intentional. And my problem, okay. This is where some of you that love to oppose my thoughts, this is where you're gonna shine in this area because I know who you are, and it's cool. It's all gravy. But here's my point. Here's my problem. One of the problems that I have is the people that have a point of view in this, which you're entitled to. Your point of views have nothing to do with what actually happened. Your point of views is against other people's point of views. You like to argue about how people feel about it versus arguing the actions of what people have done. That's the thing. You got people, here's what happens. This is how no one wins. White people look at it like this, and black people see it like that. Black people see it like it's racial. White people see it like it's racial. And what I mean by that is this. The white people love to be able to say, look at those animals and look at how they act. Right? The black people like to say, well, it's racial because he says something, racial and blah, blah, blah. And you think both of these people have justifiable means for the outcome of what you're seeing. You think that both people have justifiable means because of some words of racism or racial type, and it doesn't. It's not going to work that way in a law, in a court of law. It's not going to work that way. So if you already know, like Fame just said, if things are not going to be balanced, if they're not going to be balanced, why even go there? Why put yourself in a position where you know things are being filmed? And I'm talking about when you got somebody down and out in the middle of the street and you're doing WWF moves and jumping in the sky and coming down on them multiple times. You see that somebody's laying in the middle of the street and they're out, the fight is over, and you run over, you drag them to the middle of the street, and then you take their wallet and run off. Here's my biggest problem. Leaders. The so-called leaders don't want to make it about the incident. They don't want to make it about the incident. They want to make it about the perception of the incident. Why ain't the cameras over on the 2 white girls on Fountain Square that's fighting? January 6th, Donald Trump, all this old shit. They want to make it everything other than the fact that we had grown-ass men in our community kicking people in the head that couldn't fight back, knocking out women. I don't care if you white, green, purple, blue, whatever color you are. Somebody show me the justification of that man knocking that woman out. Why aren't we having conversations about what is wrong with us to be able to sit here and do that to people? Like, why are we okay? And I'm not saying okay like everybody cool with it. I'm saying, why isn't it a conversation going on about how somebody could punch somebody like that? Instead, y'all got a problem with the people who think different than what you think about this situation. Now we got to make it about you and not the situation, not what we talking about, not that. Let's talk about the differences of opinion. Let's make that the main focus of the conversation, not the acts. Not the, okay, now I see where the kid's getting it from, because now we got to go down to the, well, who's raising. Now we see how some of these kids are acting, and you see where it's coming from. I just don't understand. I don't get it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna step aside. I'm gonna let y'all keep on putting charges and all that old shit on these guys. I'm gonna let y'all think however you want to think. I'm gonna make you think that it's okay to knock a woman out, that some dude slapped the other dude, all of that. I'm gonna let you be okay, because like Granny always told me, you can't take everybody where you're going. You can leave them where they at. And I'm going to leave some of the people where they at. If that's how you feel about some shit, that's fine. If you feel important, or if it makes you feel great to know that we got one back and you ain't got to do none of the time, and you're going to salute somebody that's on that bullshit, fine. Go right ahead. Have at it. Do the best thing. Be the best you that you can be. Let me go to the phone lines. I got to get out of here in a second. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Wyatt, it's Marquette. I'm gonna be real quick because I want to hear from Alicia. Please stick around for her to call.
Hey, what's going on, Marquetta? How you doing today, sis?
Beautiful weekend. Got to see a great artist this weekend at the local bar. But I have to address your last caller because he keep my name in his mouth. Wyatt, you don't like when people call you names, do you?
No. Well, I don't mind. I'm used to it, but it's okay. But I don't like it. But
But when people call you names, can that not lead to an altercation?
Yeah, it all depends.
So if a grown man sitting up, brother, I don't know who you've been talking to. I ain't never had no 2 abortions. My baby's upstairs.
Y'all, for real, it's like that.
Fame be in your chat calling me big bitches, heifers. Bruh, I don't know you. All I know is you ugly and your mustache ran off your face.
For the record, Marquetta. Hold on. For the record, I've never seen that, but I don't read all the comments. You know I would address it, sis. You
don't read all of that. But he's talked to you. He's talked to you and even said stuff like, you don't know me, bruh. I ain't never met you in my life. All I know is that you got alopecia on your lip. But as far as abortions, I'm pro-abortion. Any woman who feels like she needs to have abortion, keep abortion legal and accessible. But don't lie on my cootie cat. You don't know me. I ain't had no 2 abortions. I got 2 beautiful daughters. I'm a proud single mother. Every time I come in this chat, that's part of the reason why I don't engage, why I don't call in, because you got them hateful men in the chat because they can't dialogue on a mature level. They get to calling people names. And Fame is known for that. You would not, I'm telling you, you would not be in my face calling me names and one of my men was standing next to me, because you know that would cause an altercation. So just stop.
I'm sorry to hear that.
What I'm saying?
I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I really didn't know. I'm saying it on the line. And Fame, he made some addresses to me before about how I stuck up for people and said some things and blah, blah, blah. But I'm
what
just
kind
saying,
of man? Look, here's the thing, because you're talking about the man that sucker punched the woman. That the commonality is nobody stopped that man. Nobody said, bruh, what the hell? Because it's common.
well,
it's
I heard a bunch of, I heard laughing,
women.
I heard,
It's
whoa, all that.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I have to agree. I heard, whoa, I heard laughing, I heard got him, I heard a bunch of shit. And I can't agree with that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that other nigga, Ross Freeman, the other dude, bro, you knew me when I was 17. What are you talking about? Western Hills High School. I am 48 years old, and I didn't know you then because I didn't even speak to nobody then. And I wasn't even having sex then, because that's when I came into Islam. Y'all just gossip so that you can feel like you in the know. And like I said, that's a problem, because you're antagonizing someone that's the opposite gender. But if I'm standing with a man, you setting yourself up for a fight. It's the same way Shaq had to tell RG3, you're not going to keep talking about Angela Reese. Next time I see you, I'm going to punch you in the face. People got mad at Shaq, but RG3 kept going at Angela Reese. You don't listen. The only reason that they get away with that is because we don't have men in our community who stand up for women and children. And so it becomes normal. Do you hear what I'm saying? It becomes very normal.
We hear.
So, okay. And I mean, like, it becomes very normal for them to abuse the women and children in the community. You're talking about the people fight on the square, but it's a woman that just died from being shot at the Shell gas station.
That's right.
Don't nobody care about that. You know, when you talk about the women getting killed, she a man hater. No, there is something culturally wrong within a community that women and children don't have safety. And when people outside of our community are looking at this is, I made a post about it last night. When people are looking at our community, you understand what I'm saying?
I hear you.
And they see all of this chaos going on, read the comments. It may not have started racial, but it's racial now. Now people calling for our lynching, people saying deport us, arrest us en masse. I didn't do nothing to nobody. It was Black people down there trying to stop the fight.
Absolutely.
It was Black people down there saying, pulling people back, saying, don't do it, don't do it. And the person that people talking about, Goonie, is mentally disabled. The people who led him in that way was wrong, because he's autistic. He don't have the cognitive skills.
So what does that say?
You understand what I'm saying?
So what does that say? Look,
I'm not going to say his name. It go back to the community of men, because as long as Umar Johnson, I've talked about Umar for years. People don't care as long as you say, oh, a Black woman shouldn't. You know, a Black woman shouldn't. A Black woman shouldn't. You know, he's a hero. He's a hero. And we have to get to a point as Black women to stand up to our men and demand masculinity.
But did you notice? Hold on, sis. Hold on. I got to say something about that. Well, not about that, but you going into another area. Let me address one thing. Did you notice? First of all, let me ask, did you see the video? I'm sure you did, right? I
watched all those videos. Okay.
Did you notice?
Elon Musk tweeted it.
Right. But did you notice that there were sisters? There was one brother before the slap happened that tried to separate them. And once the slap happened, I don't blame him. He got out of the way. Okay. He had nothing to do with the fight. He was actually trying to, bring down the temperature of the situation. Right. But then once it jumped off and people was doing what they were doing, I noticed it was Black. Wait a minute. It was Black. It was sisters that was trying to help those folks. Do you understand what I'm saying? It was sisters that was down on the ground trying to help these people while they were down there taking that ass whooping and people was moving out. But once it gets to a certain point, sis, answer this for me. Once that person see that sister saying that she couldn't help them because the people gonna do what they're gonna do to these folks, she kind of had to get out of the way. What does that tell you? That tell you right then and there, it wasn't racial. It was, if I'm gonna be part of this, I can get it too. So I got to get out of the way. Do you understand my point? Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Like, it was
a lot of us are nurses. I saw them immediately trying to triage them people. The one man hit his head on the back of the pole.
Absolutely.
The woman hit her head on the ground. She was knocked unconscious with blood coming out of her mouth. That was terrifying. And the image globally says that Black people in Cincinnati, like when I did my video, I followed up with the 2001 riot video, because the white nationalist community, the racist community, and white people who are in power, whether it started racial or not, it looked like niggas out of control. It looked like niggers are attacking white people. That's how a lot of videos are even titled on X. And we have to get to the point of, as a community, to hold. I'm not talking about women, because I've seen the women hit the woman first from behind. The women sucker punched the woman, and then a man hit her.
I seen it. But all the ladies, look, I seen more ladies trying to help this situation than I seen men. I bet you the video that you seen, from what I heard, I could hear the person who was actually recording it. All right, you can hear the person there, the closest to the phone. It's a man recording it. They said there was no 911 calls coming from anybody in that area. But we all witnessing it and taking video camera pictures of it. And you had a few sisters that got on their knees and tried to help these people out. And then when it still got so bad that people were, they had to give up. They had to get out of the way. Why do you get out of the way? Because you're afraid that you can become a victim as well, right? So it's not racial.
Right, and it ain't like we gonna stop because you Black.
Right. That's my point. That's my point. And I hope people are listening to what I'm trying to say. When the little 15-year-old Black kid got jumped downtown by 7 or 8 kids, they were Black kids. That was not racial. It shows you that if anybody gets in the way and jump in, they can get it too. It's not because you're white or you're Black or any of that. This was just a fight between some drunk people that went south. Some people jumped in and had no business in getting into this, and they probably will be punished for that. But I cannot sit here and justify what was done and call it racial. We don't want that. You don't want it to be racial. For Goonie's sake, I'll say his name one time.
For all of their sake, because this is...
Well, Goonie don't know no better, okay? He don't know better.
I'm going to say this, and I'm going to hang up because I see Alethea trying to call in. And I get it. People get tired of the same old callers. But Alethea brings a lot of information and empathy.
All right.
Alethea bring a lot of,
she don't hold it back. But I love both of y'all when it comes down to the phone calls, because y'all don't agree with me.
Don't come for me though. I sell pepper spray and stun guns. I've told our community for years to get into personal safety and protection. There are unhinged men out here for whatever reason. They got a gripe against you, and you're going to have to protect yourself. That white man should have walked away. He shouldn't have smacked him. He saw he was outnumbered. He saw that the crowd was He saw the crowd was growing. He should have walked away and sought safety and called the police, or he should have used pepper spray and dispersed the crowd. But people don't think like that. I don't know what it is about Cincinnati Negroes that think harassing people and calling them names make you strong or make you, I don't know what the hell be going through your mouth, but start a business.
Come on. Well, hey, let me just say this to you, sis. I appreciate you calling. Thanks for engaging with us, okay?
Mm-hmm. Oh, one more thing. Same thing about Umar running around calling that woman throat goat and saying she got a dirty Uchi, and then can come back and ask Black women for their money for school that don't exist.
Ain't that crazy? That's they hung up. I'm sorry. I didn't do that, Marquetta. She just lost connection. I think her phone fell off. Here's the other thing. To my guys, my leadership, who've been talking about guns in people's cars and shit like that all this time. Guns in the cars, and now you see why people take guns downtown. When they can't take the gun in a bar, so they have to leave it in their car. Okay. And one of the reasons why they leave their guns in the car is just for situations like this. Now, let's just say, for instance, one of them dudes would have had a gun on them when they were getting jumped by these people, and it would have been the little girl that got shot. Y'all know what we would be saying, that these white folks just out here shooting us and blah, 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 blah. Thank God that it only happened this way. Or thank God this man couldn't get to his car where maybe he had a 45. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But now y'all understand why people, when they travel to downtown, why they have guns in their car, or why people aren't even going into downtown, and it's difficult for us to open businesses in downtown because it's not fruitful for us. It's not economically sound. They still want to have a high ass rent on property down there, but they're not a draw. It's not an attention thing. You know, they don't get it. So let me go back to the phone lines real fast before I get out of here. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
My brother Wyatt, how are you?
Sis, what's going on? What's good?
Oh, this is Alethea Williams. And first of all, I want to tell you, I hope you looked at your messenger, because you're still invited to the vacation for my birthday.
When is it?
You and the family. It's from the 2nd to the 7th.
I'm sorry, say that number again.
From the August 2nd to August 7th. My birthday is on the 6th.
Okay. We're going to do something special for you. I'm going to do more than just sing a song.
Because you played your nephew.
Yeah, hey, he getting big. He getting so
big.
Getting big. Right?
He's getting big.
This is crazy.
He's so tall. Yeah. He is super tall. But I wanted to argue with you before you hang up.
No, go ahead. Let's get it.
Okay. Well, I do agree with some of the things that you and Fame both said, but I disagree a lot. Like, there were several videos, and I know you said you didn't have time to see all of them, or did you see all of them?
I don't know how many are out there. I've seen maybe maybe 3 different ones myself.
Yeah, there were so many videos. It was hard to keep up. Some of them were like duplicates, but this added a few more things. Mm-hmm. But when it first started out, I know you're talking about the guy in the red t-shirt, but it started out with them slapboxing like a guy in a red jean jacket. And they broke it up. The black men broke it up. So what happened was, when they start trying to talk about it and talk it out, in another video, they showed the white men were kicking people's cars. And if you check out the very beginning of the guy in the red jean outfit who was boxing with him, the white guy, and I'm only using descriptive terms, so just as, I won't say one guy against the other. Yeah, it's the white man said, is that your car? And the one in the jean outfit said, yes, it is. Okay. And that's when he put his hands up trying to box. It was actually 2 white men trying to box. They squared up and everything. The black men did break it up. So what I do want to say, there was a lot that could have happened, but that did not happen. And if you're not in that heated moment, of course, us on the outside looking, when your mind is going, it's going fast. But for us, we're slowing it down, replaying, keep watching. But for them, it was a right now moment. And what I didn't like is that when you're, not you yourself, but when you're promoting these videos, it's looking as if the black men attacked the white men. That's why I have one problem. It wasn't that. It's they incited a riot, because it was the name calling. And in some of the videos, it was like, yeah, we're going to fight today. When you saying a nigga already older, and you could tell they were drunken, they embarrassed the women that they were with. Their job was to protect the women who they were with. You don't get into no altercation and you got your wife or your girlfriend or whoever. And that's just the law of the family. I'm going to just be all the way honest. There's no way you should have been arguing and slap boxing or whatever. Walk away. It's okay. But because you had a man test stomping contest, nobody walks away, right? So it shows you their whole reason of being there was to incite. They never walked away.
Well, I don't, hold, sis, hold. I gotta take a breath real fast, because I'm gonna give you all the time you need. I don't know if they were intentionally trying to start a riot.
Yes, they were. That's what I'm saying. You have to look at the other videos. Well, the guy in the red jean jacket, the black man, he asked him, stop kicking the car. They were kicking other people's cars. And the white man said, is it your car? And he told him, yes, it's my car. So they squared up. Like literally. So when you're saying that that's why I wanted to correct you. Like, I don't think you saw like the beginning of all the videos when you said, oh yeah, this is too much. We should have not done that. It was a lot of women trying to break it up. No, it wasn't, Wyatt.
Yeah, it was.
The black woman was a total embarrassment.
No, sis. No,
they were
sis.
barbaric.
No,
they
sis.
needed to stay in their places. Even the white women was out of line, out of order.
No, sis, I disagree. I think that there was some sisters there that was really trying to help those folks. I'm not suggesting.
The first person that stomped the white man's head was a girl in old white flip-flops. She got up out of a vehicle that didn't even pertain to her at all.
Right, I understand.
She don't even have a man in the fight.
Sis, I understood. I said that there were some girls that were involved in the fight that they didn't have anything to do with it. They just was getting licks in. However, I don't want everybody to think that every person down there was part of that brawl as far as throwing punches. Because the only wait a minute, hold on. This is why I said that. Okay, this is why I said that. The only brother I seen who tried to stop the fight was when he was separating the dudes, that slap incident. Everybody else
he had
that
on a white t-shirt.
Everybody else that I seen that was trying to pull people back out of it and try to help those folks.
But what I want to tell you, the man was successful. We can't keep saying he tried. He was successful in breaking it up. What I'm saying, the man did when they were talking about it, like me, he reached over to smack a man.
Yeah, you're missing my point. I'm not suggesting that didn't happen like what you're saying. I'm not suggesting that the man didn't deserve to get his head knocked off by the guy that he slapped. I'm talking about there was a black guy that tried to stop that from even happening in the first place. Okay. He deserves kudos for that. That's how real men handled it. That was before the slap. Now, once everything jumped off and it got crazy and people who weren't even involved start kicking and stumping, the only people that I seen trying to pull people out and away happened to be women. That happened to be women that was trying to help these ladies, the guy that was on the ground, the ladies that were on the ground. I got the video. I only seen women, black women trying to help. I didn't see any black.
But that's why I want you to rewind the videos that you have, because the guy that he initially slapped did not box with him. It was a guy, a shorter guy in a white t-shirt that came out of nowhere. He came up under the people to punch him first. Punched him. And then who the narrator was, he was like, oh, I'm not knock him out. The guy the white guy, he slapped the black guy. He was not the first to react. He got slapped, but he wasn't the first to react.
Seen that.
It was somebody else got triggered. He's in a white t-shirt, and if he got braids like going to the back, you have to watch the video. So what that man did was got triggered. He wasn't even in the fight.
Right.
He wasn't even in the fight.
So why was he doing? Why was he even involved? I mean, what's the point of that?
Because you don't slap another man.
Oh, you let a man handle his business, sis, in the real world. That's all I'm saying.
You can't say when another person is triggered. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
All I'm saying to you is this, though, sis. That's not justification of what that man did. Because another man got slapped.
I'm not justifying it.
Well, it kind of sounds like I'm not saying you justify.
I'm not justifying anything, but you have to break the fights down. You can't look at the fight, all the videos of like, oh yeah, so in the end, black people wrong, white people right.
No, ain't nobody saying that.
People should, when they share the video, there's accountability on both parts. One is so emotional, and I've been telling you this for a long time on your show. The black man is so emotional, they're degrading to women. They are obnoxious. They will say anything to anybody at any point in time because they feel like they can.
But wait a minute.
And that just shows you how the black man reacts to anybody that disrespects them.
But wait a minute. Let me ask you a question. Why is it that you and a couple other, Marquetta being one, why is that not the conversation? Like what y'all talking about right now, why isn't that the conversation versus what's been the conversation? And that is other people.
That's why I'm trying to tell you there's two parts of the conversation. The white man was entitled. He was very entitled. He felt like he wasn't getting punked by nobody in front of his wife and whoever his friends was, his group of friends. I'm going to slap this guy because he wanted to fight. I think that's, wait a minute, hold on. But everybody, if you see the video, you can tell he wanted to fight.
Let's be honest. I don't see color in that. I see men.
Well, I'm only saying color because it differentiates.
What I'm saying to you is that same white man that had a fight with that black dude, he slapped him, right? There was white people fighting white people down there too. See what I'm saying? I'm
but
trying to get people.
He's trying to fight several times,
okay,
even after
sis,
being approached, separated.
You missing what I'm saying here. I'm not suggesting that you're wrong. What I'm saying is a fight is a fight. A man is going to fight a man. Men fight. There's alcohol involved. Can't we just make this a fight?
But it didn't. What I'm trying to tell you, we're talking about maybe apples and oranges here. I don't know. But I'm not saying you're wrong. I do know men fight. What I'm saying is, I'm telling you, men been out of control for a very long time. And what you just saw was that chest thumping. And the white man, he led the violence.
I agree.
He did. Even though the black men, which is plural, they jumped in. But what I'm trying to tell you is, men have to understand, y'all have to be leaders, because what I see is the childishness, the immaturity, the violence, all that is coming from the man. They led it. So what I did see follow that was the black women jumping out of cars, jump right into a man's fight. I was told a woman's place is not in a man's face ever. So if I was married, and I'm going for both white, let's deal with it. The white woman and the black women, they were out of control. For that woman to get hit the way she got hit, I'm not saying she deserved that hit. I'm not saying that. I'm going back to where it started. She was in that man's face. She was slapping his hand down. She had her finger pointed in his face. She was nose to nose with that black man. And what her job was, as a wife myself, if my husband was ever in a violent situation like that, is to protect my husband. I would have grabbed him by the leg, just like that man grabbed him and drug him out there. It took all of my strength to grab my husband and get him to a safe place. My job is not to entice other men who's already jumped on him. We have to stop. Like, women are no longer women. They think they're men. She was in that man's face. She couldn't take the punch that he delivered, but she was slapping all over his hands, pointing all in his face. She's nose to nose, and it was very inappropriate. Her job was to go get her husband and get him to safety. Now, if she would have got hit from that, I would have said, yeah, they did wrong. But for her to be in that man's face, we don't know what she said to him. Everybody has a trigger. Everybody has a button. Just like you said, if I'd have got slapped, they wouldn't have been able to hold me. But let me tell you, Wyatt, you're a man. There's a way you will carry yourself in front of your wife and your children.
Oh, look.
Some things we will walk away.
Let me say this. If I was at the rodeo, okay, and I was like surrounded by the rodeo people, the cowboys, and I was in, let's just say I was in this situation that man was in. I don't drink, so I don't know how alcohol would it
entices whatever behavior you have. If you're an angry person, it's going to intensify it. If you're a sad person, it's going to intensify it. Whatever mood you're in, it's going to be intense by alcohol.
Right. Okay. So I'm not an aggressive person. I kind of think frames ahead. I think of the outcome before it actually happens. Okay. So if I was drinking that night and I was at the rodeo and I seen a group of guys that I can't take them all on, but one of them slapped me in the face, and I got my wife with me.
You got your wife and children.
I got my wife and my kids with me. I don't know if I would react in a situation that'll put me in danger, because if I'm in danger, that means my family in danger.
That's what I'm saying. Not even that. Even if the shoe was on the other foot, and I'm not saying white or black.
Right.
Even if you're not the aggressor and you're a victim, right? I'm just saying, if that white man would have came to me to argue one more time, there's no way I would engage. I will turn my back and walk the other direction. I have a job as an adult, as a leadership in my home to back off sometimes. That don't mean you're a loser. It don't mean you're a winner. It's just, I'm going to respect my family. And like I said, when that white man hit that man in his face, I'm telling you, this is a behavior that he has with his wife. He's macho. He's macho. You have to look at that's a big guy now. He wasn't no little man. He was a big man. And who he slapped the smallest one in the crowd. But the smaller one came from up under and punched him. The man that got slapped wasn't even the first one to hit. But anyway, let me move on from that. When those women jumped out that car, as a black woman myself, it embarrassed me entirety. Like, if anything, a woman can bring softness to a black man. When she could have just easily, instead of taking those flip-flops and trying to stump that man's head in. You're dead wrong. You're dead wrong. That's when she got her wig pulled off by the white woman because her job was to protect her husband. But when she took that and went in towards a man, Wyatt, I said, this is not going to end well. This is not going to end well, but it's an ongoing problem. And I will say this, 2 weeks ago, they just had the same fight down there. Wyatt, did it go viral? No. And guess what it was? Drunken white men attacked black men, security. One of them knocked a black man out and went into the trash. It was shared in your group. It was shared, but did it go viral? No. I wonder why. I wonder why. And before that, you played a video on your podcast, maybe like 3 months ago, where a young man, he was led outside of a club. He was black. He was black. And because he said something smart to a white girl, they kicked him out. The security tried to take him away from the cameras. And he attacked the black man. He was a young guy. The black man wound up punching him, knocking him out. He hit his head on the concrete. The guy died.
Right.
So now the black man is fighting a case of murder.
Right. And that's
even though the white man attacked him first, right? So when are we going to learn? These videos are not just for shaming, it's for learning too. And I'm telling you, men have lost control of their emotions, and we need to fix that. They're mad at the world. They're mad at the world. Like this whole topic should not even bring somebody, being sitting here feeling like, dang, I was attacked on the show, or none of that. I said, fine, me and you gonna argue today. Me and you gonna argue today, because I felt like, no, I don't believe it's a white and black thing, but you just have to take it for what it is. There's a sense of men, when they're entitled to things, they're going to show you, this mine, and I'm going to show you, boy. I'm going to show you. And what happened was the man didn't attack back. Wyatt, please rewind that video back. He didn't attack back. It was somebody else that punched the man first.
We seen
and
that.
Then they kept saying the guy that was horse playing with, I don't think he fought him. His name was Goonie. Y'all heard it. But I don't think he fought the man. He was doing WWE Hulk Hogan moves on him. You can either hear brother, in the Hulk Hogan voice, like, oh my gosh, like this is a playground at this point. It shows you the immaturity that our grown men, these wasn't little boys, these wasn't youths.
No, not at all. And
it wasn't.
That's
and
one
there's
of the problems.
No way I'm going to do anything like this and knowing I got a family at home that I need to take care of, that I'm financially supporting.
But you would think that someone would do that,
food
right?
is on the table.
You would think
there's no way I would have reacted.
You would think that would be part of the process, right? You would think the conflict resolution would be, look, I got shit to do tomorrow. I can't afford to be in fights. I can't afford to be, protecting. And I don't know. I'm just saying to you, sis, we all know how this is going to play out. I see lawsuits happening here. I see everybody. I see some cases, and I see, of course, we're gonna argue about this. Some people,
but we need some accountability as a community. Everybody keeps jumping on these black men, and I get it. Like, I did see immaturity. I did see out of line, out of order. But I will say, I saw several black men. I didn't see no black women. I will say that.
You didn't see no black women.
Any black women trying to break it up.
I did.
I did see. I didn't see them try to break it up. I did see them try to go to the aid after the fact.
I saw
more black women involved in mishandling and jumping into a situation that it wasn't
because you were paying attention to that, and then I was paying attention to something else, to be honest with you, sis, because I agree with you. I'm not suggesting that there wasn't.
No, I saw what you saw, but it was after the fact type thing. I seen more men just getting in the middle and say, no, y'all, chill out.
I didn't. I seen more women trying to help and aid and try to pull people back and not get involved. I seen women thinking that way. I seen that. I seen ladies down on the ground trying to get in the way of what was going on. But my point to it all was they were doing that because they weren't part of it, right? They weren't part of the fight. And the reason why they would bounce back and get out of the way is because they could get it too. Do you understand? That's why I know it's not racial. It's not racial.
They very could.
It's not racial.
That wasn't their focus. I'm not going to sit here and say I saw a man going to attack a black woman. Never did I ever see that in none of the videos. I did see the men go after the white women, but it was a action to a reaction. And that's what I'm saying. When you're doing in critical thinking, This is very important. When you have critical thinking, you definitely have to move in a way that better protects the family and not put you in more harm's way.
But what does
than
it
the
say
man was.
when you make that point right there? What does it say to you when you see men make the decisions that they make, when they know that they may have a family or they may have things that they need to take care of? What does it say to you that they will react this way and not care about what the consequences may come from this? What does that say to you?
We're doomed as a society, not just as Black people or white people. We're doomed. We're doomed. It's like the men could, I mean, even talking in your chat, you can see them going back and forth, no respect to each other. And it's just communication over one topic that we can disagree on, but it gets into like a slapping match, addresses being dropped, things like that. Now, I'm not speaking of today. The whole time I've been watching your podcast, like, it's just what happens. It's like, oh, I'm stronger than you. You're not better than me. You're less than. And I think that's what men do as a whole, not just our community, as a whole. So I think our society, we're doomed. If we don't have men that actually start thinking correctly, when you're at this high focus, like aggression.
So
like,
why isn't that the conversation
down.
from the leaders? Why are the leaders in the community more focused on people's opinion of the situation versus how we could probably do a little bit better in handling some conflict here? Why isn't that the conversation? Why do we, as amongst each other, have to be a right person or a wrong person?
Because people want to mislead the people to say we're not going to have conflict. But we all know we're going to have conflict, but nobody knows how to resolve conflict. And that's what we need to be teaching, is how to resolve the conflict and move on.
Right.
That's it. Like,
well,
sometimes
let me just
we
say
can
this for the record.
agree to disagree and move forward.
But
I don't want to hold all your time, Wyatt, but I just felt like, even coming on as a woman, I don't want to attack the men, because I seen a lot of stand-up men, and they were young, not like young teens, but they were young men. Like, come on, y'all, and I will say, why would they even associate it with the Cincinnati Music Fest? You could tell how they were dressed, but they weren't at the music festivals. These are the Banks people. This goes on every weekend.
I know.
How is this one situation?
I don't think anybody really seen it as being a jazz festival thing. I think it was,
but it was connected. If you look at Trisha Mackey's post, now I can't stand her. Like, I'm telling you, I wish I was locked up in one room with her, because I would read her up and down. I won't put my hands on her, but I feel like when you know that people are thinking this is racially motivated, you have a job in media to pipe down. And I will tell you, I've done several news anchors from that station.
Right.
From that station's hair, and we spend personal time, I mean hours, in a chair. Have you ever wondered why the Black women always leave?
Nah.
Well, two of my high paid clients that was a news anchor in that station is now gone. Sharice Gibson and now Amber Janya.
Sharice
They're
was
all
my
gone.
girl. That was my girl.
Yeah, she's gone.
Yeah,
she went back to New Orleans.
She in New Orleans. That's right. That's my girl.
Yes, she is. But you have to understand, when they get to these positions where they're right head to head with her, why do they leave? So it's just, you have a job for your community. And Trisha's not helping this at all by posting what she posted. But, that's neither here nor there. I guess it's for ratings. That's their job. That's what they're supposed to do. But I'm sick of it. I'm sick of people just sitting here and want to blame. Yeah, we all should look at it like, okay, y'all know y'all can go to jail. And, but white people should do the same thing too. We should all have that same hesitant thing in us that clicks like, okay, let me just move away. I could lose it all. And when I mean lose it all, I'm not talking about financially. I'm not talking about my house, my job.
Your life.
I'm talking about my life.
You can lose your life. That's right.
I could lose it. I'm sure when this man slapped him, he did not see what was coming.
No. I don't think so.
But with an action comes a reaction. And I was always taught this, as a young girl and going into my womanhood. Yes, I slowly learned that, what my grandmother taught me was, stay out of these men's faces, because they don't have, I think it was Marquetta. You would have never been able to tell me that Goonie was autistic.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, that's just personal information that she put out there. But watching it, you wouldn't think.
No, he doesn't. He's not. You wouldn't think
exactly. That. So that's what I'm saying. You don't know what's going on in people's head in their daily lives. So I would never just mock somebody.
My problem is the people that didn't hold him back. Okay, the people that didn't step up and I heard a whole bunch of laughing and clowning, and I seen way too much
for sure, because they thought it was a game, and like I saw what you saw,
but I didn't see anything any different than we see our 14 and 15-year-olds, and that's where I think you have to wonder where. I mean, I don't see.
I saw a difference. I think that's why I disagree with you. I saw a difference because with little kids, you would never see, even the teens, the young ones, they will never break it up. And I saw too many black men stand up to break that up.
It wasn't the actions of those that weren't involved. It was the actions of those that were involved that matched the energy, that matched what the younger generation is doing out here.
Nobody wanted to be the punk in the situation, is what I see. Nobody wanted to be considered. Everybody wanted to be the hero or, the winner.
I seen some people that had absolutely nothing to do with it get involved, though, sis. And I mean, take some serious punches. And some
I want to be a part of something because I'm a loner. That's what I seen. Like, you have nothing else going on with your life but to jump into a fight that has absolutely nothing to do with you.
Yeah, it's sad. All right, sis, I got to get up out of here. I appreciate you tuning in.
Well, have a blessed day, and make sure you hit me up in my message.
I will. I'll hit you in message.
Okay. All right. Love you, brother. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. That's Alethea. Thanks for engaging with us, Alethea. Yeah, I think she was spot on. There was a lot of accountability on both sides. I probably couldn't have said it, and I know I couldn't have said it any better. I'm drained by the situation because here's the problem. We seen this one loud and clear. The news didn't bring this to us. Social media brought this to us. So I'm not tripping on this because I know, like she said, I know this happens every weekend down on the banks. You just don't see it. Remember, we were talking about the news only show us 10% of what going on in your city. This is the type of stuff that's going on all the time, whether it's black people or white people. We just don't see it. This happened to be a situation where it was brutal. To me, this was brutal. The kicking in the head, why somebody's down and it's over with, somebody coming in from the blind side, hitting somebody in the, kicking them in the head. All I seen was, and y'all have to understand, I'm not trying to make it more than what it really was. I'm speaking for the actions of others. I'm going to say this as well. Those bars and those businesses, they're going to have some liability here because maybe you overserved someone. Maybe some cars weren't parked in the right place. It's going to be lawsuits out here. And then there's going to be some prison sentences. And all I'm going to say to you is, like Alethea said, we got to be a little bit more active in our thinking, proactive in our thinking and thinking ahead. Like, we got shit to do tomorrow. And if you want to treat everything like you ain't got nothing to do, then you're going to have to face those consequences. There shouldn't have been that many people jumping into something that I thought maybe a guy or two could have handled on their own. That's the only pushback you're going to get from me. All the kicking and knocking people out and women getting hit by men, I don't condone it. It's ridiculous to me. You don't have to love me or like me or hate me or whatever it is. That's just my opinion. My problem is with this whole situation is we seem to be getting this pushback amongst each other about our feelings about what happened. And some people don't understand that, look, we might not like the guy that slapped the guy in the face and all that old stuff, but it didn't deserve the reaction of people who didn't have anything to do with it. People that didn't have anything to do with that, they're going to go to jail. And then y'all got people on here posting stuff of people that are involved in this. And now you making it about black and white. If y'all weren't here at the beginning, then you would understand. My point of view is this is not racial. You know why it's not racial? Because I see black people do the same thing to black people down on the banks. Those black people did not fight those people because they were white. They didn't have a conflict with them because they were white. They had a conflict with them because something jumped off. Okay? It wasn't because they were white. It was because they had a conflict. They had something going on. Please keep it at that. Please keep it at that. Because what's happening here is we're getting, as normal, black folks want to argue amongst each other. And we talking about two different things. Y'all want to justify why the beating happened. I'm trying to tell you that, okay, maybe it was because of this, but it's not because they were white. It was because the white dude may have done something, and now they have a conflict. They have a problem, and now they working it out. They fighting it out. Let's leave it at that. You don't want this young man to get a federal. You don't want this guy to get a hate crime charge put on him. That's all I'm saying. Now, you might not like what I'm saying, and maybe people don't care what happens to other people. Maybe they just enjoy the show. But I care. I care. And you don't want the feds to take this case. See, I'm trying to explain something to you. The actions of the people who were involved are normal actions of people who react that kind of way. I hope I know that sounds kind of crazy. I've seen black people jumped downtown Cincinnati the same way those white folks was jumped. Do you understand what I'm saying? These are the people that these are the F around and find out people. Let me go to the phone lines. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Hello. This is Happy Change.
Hey, what's going on, CK? How you doing?
Hey, man, it's a great topic you're talking about. It's real good entertainment with real consequences. You know what I mean? I watch these type of things all day long. TikTok, Facebook, World Star. This is my type of entertainment, right? But like you said, we have to deal with federal time behind these actions. You got to understand, right? You understand what I mean?
I hear you.
And if you got to understand, you have to walk away from violence, de-escalation, because you don't know how far it can go. You said the guy had to fight at the bar and hit his head and died.
Yeah.
This is a nightmare, Wyatt. Wyatt, this is a nightmare he's living.
Well, this is a different situation. This is a different situation. Alethea brought that up because we had it on the show about a month ago. The young man that was standing outside the bar that got kicked out, and then one of the bodyguards did something and said something to him. And the black guy was kind of like in a defense situation. He was defending himself. He turned around and he ducked or something, and then he punched back. The guy that he punched fell back from the punch and hit his head on a rock when he hit the ground, and he died. So now the little guy has to defend himself on a murder charge. Some are saying it was self-defense, and some are saying that he didn't have to react that way. My point is this.
This is the main reason.
So
that's the main reason you never want to get to the fighting stand, sir. You have to walk away because you don't even know, you don't want to damage the person you're fighting. You see what I'm saying? Make sure you walk away at all times.
Yeah, but walking away, I got to be honest. Walking away is probably the hardest thing to do in those type of environments. You know, I'm going to say this to you, CK, and it's going to sound kind of soft because, you know, you got people that they don't understand that some of us do, you know, we're calculated movers. But now I haven't been to a New Year's Eve party. I know that sounds out of place, but it's to the point. I haven't been to a drop the ball New Year's Eve party in years because I kind of
over 30 years. Over 30.
I wouldn't say quite that long because since then I'm talking about the New Year's Eve parties that we used to go to as younger people in our 20s and maybe early 30s, where we would go watch the ball drop and party in a nightclub type of thing. I haven't been in those environments in a long time because some of the people that I used to be around back in them days, you could nick their shoe or step on the shoe or bump into them with a drink or something and easily jump something off. And I had to learn not to put myself in those positions in them environments.
I can't stand them people. Them people, I can't stand them.
I had to learn to stay out of that type of stuff.
Don't you hate those type of people? And those type of people, when they started, they tell the truth. Why? Because you seen it, right? You seen it. But you seen what happened. When they do that, they get everybody shot but them. They get hit in the shoulder, everybody else in the car.
That's somewhat true. The instigator very seldom gets the wrath of the punishment. They usually walk away. It's like the drunk driver syndrome. The drunk driver always drunk driving, and it's the passengers, the innocent people in the other cars that always die, and the drunk driver end up in court.
And I disagree with you vehemently about race, but because I think every fight is about race. If I'm coming to fight you, that's race. It's like that's gonna be what's gonna be the de-escalate. factor. Hold on, do I really want to fight this black man? He's a pillar of our community. That's a part of me fighting. So that's how you de-escalate. Yep. It is racial. And you devaluing the hate we have for each other. That's why we so violent. We got a lot of hate for each other as black men.
There could be a point there.
You devaluing that.
I just have a problem with our leaders not holding some people accountable and kind of making this about just enough for them to seem valid in their arguments. I'm not going to be that guy. You're not going to get that out of me. You got people out here wanting to make it about everything other than people's actions. The dude who did the slapping, he deserved his ass kicked, I guess, by the person that he slapped. All that other shit coming from different directions and all them women getting drugged and all that old stuff, I can't justify it. I can't say any of that stuff was justified. I didn't see enough to say that everybody should have been involved. That's just my opinion.
And I'm gonna give it to you clear cut, no chaser. Listen, the men are the new B words. You see what I'm saying? They come equipped with menstrual cycles, maxi pads, and everything. They are the problem. They're too emotional. They're too violent. They want to kill you off of anything. And then you can call they bluff because they only want to kill black men. They're going to bow down to, like you said, they're not going to take it to that next level. They want to kill us and go to the grave site and piss on the grave.
Well, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true. You know why? Because I seen a white man, an older white man, on his knees in the middle of the street, and I seen a guy come up and kick him in his face. And I don't know if you notice, but you can kill somebody at an older age if you do that to them. They may not die today.
Right.
They may not die today.
Yeah. He kicked him with murderous sentence. I'll give you that. That was murderous sentence.
So I don't think black
it was still.
I don't think what you just said is
no,
all
that
the way
came
true.
from the slaves. You got to think he's still a product of slaves. That man that kicked him, his DNA is slavery too. And the man that got kicked is a slave master. You have to understand it. Don't go away just because we're in 2025. It's still there. Okay. You got to understand the DNA. I got the blood of a slave, heart of a king. So yes, I might kick a white man in his face, but it's consequences, federal indictments. See what I'm saying? But it does come out. That is, and it's racial elements.
All I'm saying is I seen a lady get knocked cold out, okay? And there's no telling that person's going to recover from that. And what do you do to the person who's going to feel how you going to feel about the guy who punched that lady like that? Like, I mean, if she doesn't recover from this and she turns out to, I mean, if there's internal bleeding and something happens to this lady 6 months from now, and then they go back and charge this person for murder, like what is the people who was defending or acting like this ain't a big deal? What are they going to say then? They're going to blame it on the system, right?
Hold on. I'm unaware of the woman getting violated. I have not seen that type of footage, but if that did happen, I will take your word. That is deplorable and despicable. I do not support that at all, sir. I do not support that. So I think you need a minimum of 18 years for that type of crime. What's your thoughts? 18 years minimum.
If that person was to die? If that person was to die?
No, I'm talking.
Oh, you just talking about the knocking her out?
Just the act.
I don't know. I'm not going to be the judge of that. I'm not filtered that way.
Hold on, sir.
No,
that's my grandma. That's your grandma. That's our grandma. Anybody grandma, that's ours. So if you want them to do at least 18, you ain't gonna be like, oh, you can get probation. You good.
No, it's not that. I'm not on. I'm saying I'm not trying to judge a probationable stance. I'm not trying to judge a sentencing stance. I'm not trying to judge any of that. I'm giving my opinion.
About somebody kicked your grandma. You talking about this was a grandmother kicking? I didn't know this happened. I thought you were talking about man on man. I didn't know you were talking about gender violence. This is gender.
No, when you hang up, I'm going to show. When you hang up, I'm going to show the video.
Yeah, hey, I appreciate you. Hey, God bless you, man. And I'm gonna watch the video. Hey, praise and keep on educating the public, sir.
Okay, man. Thank you for engaging, CK. All right, bye-bye. I have a short. Okay, it's a short. I'm not gonna show the whole video and all that. I'm just gonna show you some of the, what I seen in the assistance of these people. I don't want people to be thinking that the only people that was down there and involved in this heinous situation were all guilty of putting hands on people. I don't think that that's the case. Okay, I really don't think that's the case. But a lot of this stuff, regardless of where you stand on this, in my opinion, a lot of it was just unnecessary. Okay, and I just think that it bothers me that we don't talk about people's actions more so. We want to try to figure out a way of making it about something other than people's actions. All right, and that's just me. That's just how I feel. I'm going to show this little small clip, and then I'm going to go back to the phone lines. It'll probably get my show blocked or whatever. If so, I'll holler at y'all, whatever we need to do. But check this out.
Slip him again. Boom. Ooh. 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 I got that too.
Now, the only reason why I'm showing this one is because it does not show anyone's face. All right. I purposely chose this video and another video that does not show anyone's face of committing an assault. Okay. I just want y'all to know for the record.
Slip him again. Boom. Ooh. 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 I got that too. Ooh. Karma, bitch. He shouldn't be outside.
I'll probably get blocked or shut down or whatever for that. But that's the guy that was trying to settle some people that he was blocking, you know, some situations. I don't know what he was doing before that. And this, but I seen him before the guy in the red t-shirt got smacked. I seen him trying to de-escalate some things. And that's right, Fame. You can hear the camera guy oohing and eyeing and ooh, hit him again. Matter of fact, the cameraman, it was going so slow in his mind, he was narrating the punch before it even landed. Sleep him again. There's a man that's not fighting, not doing anything. Sleep him again. Now, let me show you the one. Okay. Let me show you the one before that, and then I'll go after that. Sorry, I'm trying to find this video. Let me show you the one after that, okay? And this one is a little hard for me to watch. A little hard to watch. It is the lady. And the lady situation is a little bit different because I'm trying not to show a picture, like, you know, someone's face. And it's a little blurry, so you can't make it out. So I think I can get away with this. But I just want to let you see a grown-ass man punch a woman. Let's just keep it that way. I'm not justifying. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not saying it's right. It's definitely wrong. But this isn't a white woman getting punched. It ain't about a white woman getting punched. It's about a man punching a woman. And for what? Check it out. Now, to my point earlier with Alethea and some of the other people, look at the black women, look at the women, excuse me, that are trying to move people out of the way. These ladies are not instigating the fight. These are ladies that are saying, come on, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Let's go. And they're pulling other women away from this situation. Men, they're pulling guys away. This is what I was trying to tell Alethea. This is what I was saying. I seen sisters down there that was like, no, this is not right. Let's go. Get out of here. We're not doing this. Listen to them. Just listen to them versus watching them. Listen.
Damn! Oh, shit! Oh! Whoa! Whoa! Help her up!
I'm sorry, I can't. That's okay. Find your reasons to make it whatever it needs to be for you, right? Find your reason. Find your reason. Nobody could have said anything to me down there that would have made me do any of that. I don't care if you call me whatever you call me. Black folks do that to each other down there as well. This is not a black or white thing. We down there picking black children up that then got jumped and all of that. Do you understand what I'm saying to you guys? This is not a black or a white thing. Trust what I'm trying to tell you. Okay? It look ugly, it's sad, it's nasty, it's mean, it's all of that. But I have seen black people get picked up off the ground downtown Cincinnati just like that. I've seen a 15-year-old kid get picked up. The 80-year-old black man beat up by teenagers. I've seen it. Don't make it what it's not. These was drunk individuals that were fighting. It had nothing to do with the jazz festival. These are the same group of people that are down there hitting the nightclubs and doing that shit down on the banks anyway. I'm not excusing it. I just don't want you to think or to be portrayed or it to be portrayed as a hate crime. I don't think a lot of y'all understand that there is no justification of these actions of these individuals based on who started what. It wasn't a mutual. The people that are you know what? Fuck it. If those who are saying, how did it start? What happened? And this and that. If you think somebody on their knees who gets kicked in the back of the head or gets stolen or whatever happened, whatever was said, if you can say that that's justification of somebody getting beat down like this, jumped on by 6 or 7 people, wallets taken out of their pocket, watch taken off their wrist, if you can find justification in your argument, feel free to do so. All I'm trying to tell you is when the court cases come out, you ain't going to like it. You're not going to like it. So do we call it a racial situation when the black kids or the black people get punished just like these white people did down there? Is it racial then or is it combative? Is it just being combat? So when the 15-year-old kid got jumped by 7 kids down there with the school kids, the school thing down at Government Square, when he got on the news, did anybody say it was racial or was it just the type of shit that those type of people were doing at that time? Right? Wasn't it just wasn't it just like, oh, you know, is it racial when the 2 white girls was fighting down on the square or what? Is that racial? No. But because it's a black person involved, white people involved, and they're combative, now the whole reasoning of it is because of race. Here's what's going to have to happen. I don't know if y'all know it or not, but the race, it don't work in our favor. That's why they doing that, fall back. I don't think you understand, not you. I don't think people understand. I'm trying to justify the fight as being a fight. amongst men. That's all I'm saying. Don't allow the news media to make this a racial thing. Don't allow that to happen, because things going to be way different. It's going to be a whole different court. It's going to be a whole different situation. You're going to, and let me tell you what a defense attorney is going to do. Okay, because you don't understand. Here's what's going to happen. A defense team is going to put all these videos, things that I'm telling you about right now. The defense is now going to have all these incidents that happen downtown. The defense is going to say, this is not a racial situation, Your Honor. This is not racial. Things like this happen amongst white people down here at the Reds games. It happens amongst black people down here at the bars. It happens amongst white and black people against one another. It's a constant thing down here. This isn't racial. This is just two people having a problem. All right. Now, how they gonna make it racial? How racial will stick? If there's evidence that these individuals, meaning the white people, show me the video or the soundtrack. I'll call it the soundtrack of a video. I always listen to videos. Show me everybody videotaping everything else. Everybody, thank you, Mama Birch. That's what it is. Drunk and disorderly. That's what it is. Everybody got video of everything else. The punches, what happened, this and this and that. I need to hear the video. Show me the video of the white people making it racial. Show me. I need to hear the N-words. I need to hear what's going to make it racial. Because just because a black man hits a white man or jump a white man, that does not necessarily make it racial. But don't let the media manipulate this situation. And you know what, Angela? If Clyde was to get into this, I guarantee you he'll take this angle. He'll show so many fights of downtown Cincinnati. He'll show so many bar brawls amongst whites against whites, blacks against blacks, blacks against white, and this and that. He'll say this is just an ordinary weekend, and it sounds crazy. He'll say this is just an ordinary weekend in downtown Cincinnati. That would be how I would control it. Let me go to the phone lines. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with? Oh.
Hi, Wyatt. This is Linda Matthews. How are you today?
Hey, Linda Matthews. How you doing today?
I am well.
Long time no talk to, sis. How you doing?
I'm well. I am well. I'm calling you about over the weekend. I agree with you 100%.
Okay.
I am so embarrassed by what happened when this man, he punched a woman with all his might and knocked her totally out. And it's just so embarrassing to see that brawl down there over the weekend. You know, it's just so uncalled for. Okay, he slapped them, they got into a fight. But for him to knock that woman out the way he did, it just really did something to me. Because had it been the other way around, we would have had Al Sharpton down here. We would have had all of city council with all kind of press conferences and stuff like that.
Well, they didn't have to force the microphone down the throats of the city council people. Ain't nobody talking about it.
Nobody's talking about it. And I'm running for city council.
Oh, are you?
Know my
that's right. I do know that. Give your
I'm running for city council. And you go to votelindamatthews.com if they want to look at my platform and see what I stand for. You know, we have a problem with our children. Our children are out here killing each other. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16-year-olds. This is what we've been dealing with all this summer. I have been calling for a curfew since before school was out. I had my website up saying we need a curfew before school is out so that we could get these children they can be safe and in their homes. There's no reason why a child should be out late at night like that.
Well, I'm sorry, Miss Matthews, bear with me. I don't think these were children. These were grown-ass people.
Yeah, I know.
So,
we go from the children, now we going to the parents. These are the parents of these children.
But see, that's, Linda, I don't know if you've ever heard me say this. I know this is going to sound kind of ridiculous to you. I don't think we have a children problem in the city of Cincinnati. I think we have a parenting problem. and you just seen a group of parents,
100%.
I would have to say, and this is a strong assumption, but I'm assuming that a lot of those people that were involved in that brawl have children. Now,
yes, they do.
Now, imagine being raised by conflict resolutioners like that. That's all I'm saying. They look exactly what the problem is every weekend in Cincinnati. That's what looks like. That's the things that we hear and see. And, you know, it looked just like those older people that were out. And I shouldn't say older people. Those look like 25 to 35-year-olders, if I could say that.
Right.
You know, 25 to 30-year-old. But they have kids. You know what I mean? They got babies.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And they downtown wilding out. Wilding out. I mean, this is unreal. Wilding out. And you're correct. It happens to Black people downtown.
It does.
White people downtown. It's like, when are we going to get our stuff together? When are we going to do better? That is behavior. That is strictly behavior.
Well,
mental illness ain't in none of this. Strictly behavior. And I'm just so disgusted and disappointed.
So now,
we got to do better, community.
Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
You say you're running for city council.
I am.
Am I missing something here, or the audience? Are we missing something? Should city council be a little bit more vocal at this point? Is it something that you would do different as a city council member? What's going on with our leadership? I mean, what would be your stance in a situation like this? You up for a question like that? You up to? You running, right? Let's see.
Well, I'm running, but from where I stand, I mean, our police, our mayor wasn't even here. From the pictures that I saw, you had council people and the chief of police down at the jazz festival.
Yeah, I don't think anything wrong with that, but because
nothing wrong with it, but you should be aware of what's going on in your city.
Yeah, I think the mayor was at a convention, from my understanding, and your vice mayor was at the jazz festival, which is the largest event in of the city. I get all of that. I can't put this on them. I'm talking about, I think there's things that could be done. So things like this, I'm a proactive type person. I think things like this, deterrents need to be put in the way for kids not to be out like this. And then there has to be deterrents put in the way for people who are grown and don't have a problem, doing things like this. I just think that there's not a lot of consequence and accountability being held in some of the court systems in that area. That's just my I'm going from experience. I'm 20 years in it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that it's different now than it's ever been before.
From what I understand, they're catching and releasing people. They're not holding them accountable for anything. They come in and they send them right back out.
I'm curious to know
what do you do?
I'm curious to know if that's. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Linda. I'm sorry about that.
No, I'm just so upset at the whole thing. From the kids to the adults, and it's a prime reason. It's zero tolerance for any of this stuff. People should be able to go downtown and enjoy themselves, eat a dinner. If you want to take your kids downtown, when we were coming up downtown was a fun place to be. You could ride the 49 from here, still can ride it from here to Fairmount. Downtown was our spot to hang out. We never had any experiences like this with anything, including the jazz festival. We didn't see any stuff like this. And we got to get it back to that. We got to do better. And it should be a zero tolerance for anyone to do anything like this. Display any behavior like this. It just don't make sense. I mean, it's not going to do but make things worse, like you say. They're going to talk about race and stuff like that. This is all behavior. It's strictly behavior. And we just got to do better. We have to do better.
Yeah,
and that's just my opinion about it. We have to do better.
These
parents have to be held responsible. They have to be responsible for their children. I mean, these children are out here 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning doing things that they shouldn't be doing. Parents, do y'all know where y'all kids at? I was going to hold a sign up and just say it at night. Parents, do you know where your kids at? I mean, it's just, and so, you up in the club and all, we can't do all that when you got kids, And then you down here this weekend and they're just wilding out. What the hell? When is all this going to stop? It's got to stop. And I have zero tolerance for it. Zero. Whether they black, white, I don't care who they are. Everyone should feel safe to go downtown and over the
Well,
Rhine
Linda
and
Matthews, let me
downtown.
say
That's what our
this to you.
tax dollars are paying for.
Okay, let me say this to you, sis. If you were to get on city council, I would want you to carry this message on for us, if you don't mind, or for me. And that is, this might be the reason why people carry guns in their cars in the city of Cincinnati. It's not just in Cincinnati either. This particular situation happened in Cincinnati over the weekend, but if you look across the country, there are cities that are facing these same type of incidents. And they may not have gone as viral as people, like this one did. But one of the reasons why people carry guns and they bring them in from out of town and they park their car and they leave their gun in the car is for their protection and their safety. And this is the biggest fear of a person's, that's traveling to another city or something of that nature. Or, when you go to the downtown areas, the biggest fear is to get into some type of, conflict like this and get jumped on like that. Now, I'm not suggesting that this man wasn't guilty of he was part of it. Okay. The guy that started it or whatever. I don't even know how it started. It doesn't. See, this is what a lot of people don't understand, Lyndon. And if I'm wrong, please correct me right here live on the air. But I don't see any justification of a lot of the things that happened in the video. I understand
none whatsoever. No justification for the behavior. None.
I understand how a lot of people see things, and I can understand how you could look at this video and say he should have never slapped him or never did this and never did that. But we're talking about 15 minutes into a fight. 15 minutes and you're still kicking and stumping somebody and knocking a lady out. My most disturbing thing about this, though, I didn't see one police car pull up.
There were no police around.
I don't understand.
None whatsoever. Where was the drones? We're supposed to have drones. Where are they?
Well, there was
unbelievable.
There was no 911 calls coming from that area. All these cameras out, all these phones out. No 911 calls. I will say this. I played a video of the clip that kind of, I don't know, Letha don't be tripping on me on this. It proved my point. There were people on the scene that was actually pulling other people back saying, no, I can hear it in the video. I generally listen to videos. Not everybody that was around that situation was involved in the beatdown or involved in the assault, because that's what it's going to go to court as being, as a physical assault.
That's true.
The judge ain't gonna want to hear nothing about it's a new. They ain't gonna want to hear none of those street terms. They going to say, no one put hands on you. You didn't have the right to put your hands on anybody else. You jumped this person. You stole this person's wallet. You took this person's watch. And nobody's gonna be around for those people who gonna face these consequences. So I know a lot of opinions are going on right now, but I think we need to pay attention to who's gonna end up paying the ultimate price.
We're going to end up messed up, right? At the end of the day. And so the question is, for me, is when are we going to get our act together? When? I mean, is it going to take something more to happen in our community? When are we going to get our act together with ourselves, with our children, and do some positive things? This right here with the wilding out downtown Cincinnati, that has to stop. And I have zero tolerance for it. I want women, I don't care, black, white, whoever, men, black, white, whoever, to be able to go downtown and enjoy what your tax dollars is paying for without having to worry if you're going to get shot, is someone going to jump on you. Just all that goes through your mind when you go downtown Cincinnati now, to the point where a lot of people don't even go downtown Cincinnati anymore. And I'm assuming that after this incident, a lot of more people are not going to go downtown Cincinnati. It's going to affect the Reds, the Bengals, FC, all the restaurants down there, black businesses too, that are downtown Cincinnati, that rely on these type of tourism and, people to come downtown and enjoy what they're rendering to the community and the market. All that's going to cease. People are going to lose money behind all this stuff. And I don't think people really think about the long-term ramifications for this type of behavior. It has to stop. It's got to stop. We can't afford it. A lot of businesses downtown can't afford it.
Well, that was one of the things that came up with all the kids being downtown after school. Nobody really wanted to have a real conversation about it, but a lot of businesses were complaining about the kids being downtown, blocking their businesses, and people didn't want to go into businesses. They didn't want to have anything to do with the downtown area around 2:30, 3 o'clock because of all the kids. And it's not just because it's kids, it's the activity of the kids. I mean, we all used to get off the bus downtown. We didn't stop people from going into the businesses and things of that nature. But the way that people are acting these days, the way that the children are acting these days, they're a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more, they don't really care that much about the elderly as much as we used to. The respect factor is gone.
The respect factor is gone. Like I said, you know, we go down to Newberry's after school, get us some caramel popcorn, or stop at McDonald's, get a cheeseburger or something like that, and just sit on the square and kick it. You know, it's like, I don't understand why, you know, like, well, I understand it. Children just don't have respect for authority. Because I was a school teacher and I know what's going on with these children. They don't have no respect for authority. That's why we have problems now getting school teachers. Yeah. You know, so when is it going to stop? We are the parents and grandparents of these children. When are the parents going to stop this behavior and stop? You know, I don't know where they get these fight outs at. I know that they have a lot of that on, you know, on videos on Facebook and stuff like that. But we need to quit all that stuff. That is not productive. It's very negative. And our children are watching this. So it's alert behavior.
Yeah. Well, let me just say this about something that you said.
To that stuff with what they hear and what they see.
Okay. Let me just say something about what you said about the downtown area. I do agree with you to a certain extent that people are going to slow down from going downtown. I do agree with that because this video is going everywhere, right? So it's going to stop a certain element of people from going down. What my biggest fear was is hold on, Linda, I got an echo coming through my system. Do you have a TV or something going on? Or
well, no.
Okay.
Is that better?
That's a little bit better, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, my biggest fear in this situation was this video affecting the jazz festival and the events that go on each year down there. I don't want people to not go downtown. I don't want people to look at, you know, give this, no pun intended, a black eye to the jazz festival. But the jazz festival does play a small part in this because it is an activity that brings us out. And just like we were when we were kids or younger, just because the jazz festival was going down there, that's what gave us the reason of going downtown and hanging out and chilling, because it was the jazz festival weekend. We didn't chill like that every weekend. It was an activity like the jazz festival, and a lot of people coming in from out of town, showing their cars off. You know, it's just a good environment. We was kicking it.
It was fun. It was fun.
Right.
Never had to worry about anything. Even walking down the street by yourself late at night, you never had to worry about any of that stuff. As a matter of fact, people would pull up and say, "Hey, you okay?" And you know, it was just so different. You know, we didn't have any of those experiences going to the jazz festival. It was so much fun.
Right.
And now, you know, you just don't know what's going to pop off.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
All I can tell you is this, Linda, and then I got to get up out of here. You can have the final word, but let me just say this. If we're wondering why these kids are acting out, doing the things that they're doing, all you got to do is look at the kids that are, look at the people, look at the parents, look at the people out here now. These were older people, not old like us, like me and myself, but they're at the age where they have 10-year-olds and 12-year-olds out here. If you got a 30, 35-year-old parent out here, you know what I mean? You know, kids tend to.
Wyatt, you know, we didn't play the knockout game. Remember, we didn't do that when we were going to the jazz festival.
No, we played punch in the chest though, but it wasn't nothing like the knockout. You know, we didn't quite do what they doing these days.
We didn't do that. We didn't do that. So, you know, for me, we just have to do better as a community. We have to hold not only ourselves accountable and hold our children accountable as well. We have to do better. We have to. If not, we're going to lose so many people in the future if we don't. We need to get it together.
Right.
If we don't, then just expect for the jails to keep being filled up, juvenile detention to be filled up, and there go our future. So we need to rethink how we're doing this.
All right.
Because you know, it's just not, it's unacceptable, and I have zero tolerance for it.
I agree, Linda. All right, well, give people your information in case they want to buy. You're tell them what you're doing.
Okay, well, Linda Matthews. I'm running for Cincinnati City Council. My website is votelindamatthews.com. If you want to go on there to see what I'm about. You know, I'm about community. I done worked in these communities for over 40 years.
Okay.
Been a school teacher. I'm at Central State as a trustee. I've been working my pakukas off for our community as well as the community at large, but mainly my people. I'm out here in the community. I know what's going on, and we just have to do better. I love you guys, and hopefully you show up and vote for me on November the 4th, because we need change in leadership.
Okay.
We just need it.
All right, Linda. Hey, I appreciate you engaging with us. Thanks for all you give, and hopefully we'll hear from you again.
Okay.
All right.
I'll be back. Bye-bye.
Linda Matthews out of Cincinnati. I think she's part of that. I'm pretty sure she's part of the Frederick Douglass program. You know, that they do good work. They brought in Dr. Umar Johnson. That's the group that brought in Dr. Umar Johnson to speak to the people of Cincinnati. Look, I think I understand what she's saying. I don't know. I know what I've been saying here on the program all these years about leadership. I get it. There is people that want to argue about let's not get too many police, this and this and that. Cincinnati Police Department is down in staff, and they don't really want to have a real conversation about why they're down in staff. They want to talk about we don't need our people policed. If you look at that situation that just happened over the weekend, I think if the police were a little bit more engaged in that area, that would have never jumped off the way it jumped off. That looked like a bunch of people involved in something that had no oversee. There was no one watching. There was no one there to de-escalate the situation other than people out on the street. And I think you have to ask the question, just pay attention to your leaders. Pay attention to the people that try to downplay a lot of things. Just pay attention. It says a lot to me that when you want to have a conversation about having police in certain areas, they want you to believe that, oh, too many police, that's why we catch more cases. I don't know about that. I think that if you guard a bank, it's more likely not to be robbed. All right. But if you have less police, if you don't have a security guard in the bank and don't have a police presence or any type of guarding presence, chances are that bank probably going to get robbed. All right. I understand what's going on. You know, I get it. But what you're not listening to, I don't think that people are talking about defund the police and all that. I know that was some conversation some time ago, but I think people are missing the point of why Cincinnati police is short of staff. They don't have the confidence. They don't believe in their leadership. Okay? They don't believe in their leadership. They don't believe that the city has their back. And what's going to happen is when they get calls like that one, they're going to take their time to get there. Let them motherfuckers work that shit out. And by the time we get there, everybody be laid out and it'll make our job easier. I'm not suggesting that's what happened. I'm just suggesting that's probably how they feeling out here and they rolling up the scenes. Because you got people out here that want you to believe that the police don't play a critical part in what's going on when they truly do. The police is supposed to be a deterrent. But you got people out here that, see, you should be asking yourself, we should be asking each other, why are they short almost 100 police officers? We're talking about just Cincinnati, not to mention other cities, metropolitan cities that are put together just like Cincinnati, Indianapolis, all that. Why are these cities having a hard time bringing in police officers? Because police officers don't want to be police officers anymore. They don't want to do the job anymore because they got to deal with the blowback. They got to deal with it. And when you have, little to no staff, this is what happens. When you allow people to police themselves, this is what happens. This was right outside of a business. I didn't see security breaking anything up. I didn't see anybody calling the police department I didn't see them. I didn't see that. I didn't see a police car pull up. I just didn't see it. I'm sorry. I just think that you have to pay attention to everything around and why situations are the way they are. Sometimes this is going to be hard to say, but you got to give people what they want. You got to give them what they want. Give them what they bitch for, give them what they complain for, and watch the outcome. And sometimes the outcome makes the point that people are, been arguing, been talking about for years. You give them what they want. Let me go to the phone lines. This is my last call of the day. I got to get up out of here. I'm at the top of the hour. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, what's up, Kelly?
I'm sorry. Hold on one second. I hit a button. This is Wyatt. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm sorry. I didn't catch your name.
This is Shelly.
Hey,
I call you shows sometime. You people probably know who I am, but I'm going to give you a perspective here, okay?
Okay.
I've been out here talking now, this isn't about race. This is a failure on our leadership. Like this is Alicia Reese's thing. She should have made sure that the black people were safe and the white people were safe because that's what is supposed to happen at any event, okay?
Okay.
But they're checking me. They're like, no, girl, it is race. It is race. And listening to this show right now, I'm 100% convinced it's race. There is no reason at all to justify what happened down there. No justification. Not at all, period. I mean, come on. These people, this is giving Cincinnati a bad name. This is giving black Cincinnati.
So what made it race? Miss Shelley, I'm sorry, you said Shelley?
Right.
Okay, what makes it race in your eyes?
Because when people say, oh, well, if the races were reversed, and oh, well, white people do it too, and we were descendants of slaves, that makes it about race, right? Because white people, honestly, everything ain't about race with white people. Remember the Steve Riley incident?
I do.
Right? My concern is with the Steve Riley incident, they got a slap on the wrist. A little different because it was, a group of people that stayed amongst themselves. What we had down there, that was a mob mentality. And I mean, any black parent in Cincinnati should be concerned about the safety of their children. If that's going to happen, that is not normal behavior.
It's not.
If you step out of the city, hold on, I got sirens.
No, take your time.
If you step out of the city, that stuff don't happen. It does not happen everywhere. And I've lived here my whole life. Been going downtown since I was a baby to every event. Black family reunion. I wasn't scared to go. But if black people in Cincinnati are going to say, oh, well, what was he doing here? Oh, well, he should have known better than to be down there, And guess what? A lot of white people are saying the same thing. White man was dumb to go into a black neighborhood, and that's not good on the blacks. But now you got Elon Musk, you've got Kirk, you've got the feds, the Department of Justice, the Civil Rights Division, you got, what's his name? Ray Terrell or whatever. He's talking about it. The feds are investigating Cincinnati. This is not going to go away. This is huge. It just keeps blowing up by the hour.
Okay.
And there's so much, and the media is not manipulating any of us. Nobody watches the news. Who cares what Trisha Mackey says? People are on the internet. You've got YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. These are people talking amongst ourselves, adults to adults. We're not being manipulated.
No, I get that. Shelley, can I ask a question though? Because I hear you. And everyone's entitled to what they say and what they do. I hear you. Let me ask you a question. We're talking about this particular incident over the weekend, right? That's what you're okay. So what makes it racial? Because it was a black and a white person battling combative against each other. Is that what it is?
Well, if you've got the white people there, and not a single black. Everyone keeps saying, "Oh, they're black." I saw one black person step up, but here's the thing: nobody even tried to stop it. You say there was, but guess what? There
were people trying to stop it.
This has had almost 1 billion views. You realize that? A billion views.
Yeah, because people like messy like that, and they may not have full context of context of how it happened or what's going on. But I'm still, I don't want to veer off of what I'm asking you. I need you to answer this. What makes it racial to you? Is it just because there's a black person and a white person involved? They're combative. What makes it a racial situation to you?
Listening to your show, all weekend, all today, I'm like, it's not racial.
So it was what I said. It's what I said.
Well, no, well,
because I'm the one sitting here saying that it's not.
Exactly, and I agree with you, right? Because that's been my argument all the time.
Okay.
Because
okay,
we're on the verge of a race war, and
okay.
There's so much anger towards the Black community. I don't know if that's really what we want to have is a race war right now.
Right. Okay. So
when people call in and say, "Oh, well, white people do that, and we're slaves, and that's just in our brain from 500 years ago," and
I got you.
That makes it racial.
Well,
because nobody has any empathy for the people that got their ass beat.
Well,
that's horrible. People are disturbed. If you're not what you saw, come on.
Well, let me just say this to you. At first, I thought you were saying that it is racial and that you disagree with me or whatever. You're saying that it's actually not racial, right?
Well, here, I agree with you. I think that our leaders, right, Alicia Reese, Stephanie Dumas.
Hold on. I promise
they make it racial.
I promise
they make everything racial.
I promise you. I'll give you the time to say whatever you need. I'm just trying to make a point here for the audience, okay? Because you're bringing up a valid point, okay? I'm not disagreeing with. I don't agree with you solidly, but I there's a little bit of disagreement here. But I want some people to understand.
It's a fluid situation. You know what I mean? We're all gonna we don't have to stick with our first opinion. That's all.
Right.
Okay.
Let me just say this.
Would
you live in Cincinnati?
Whole life.
Okay, so you've seen this same thing happen amongst white people against white people and black people.
Never in my life.
What?
Never in my life.
You've never seen white people fight downtown?
And I was a partier. I went.
Wait a minute, Shelly,
never.
That's impossible. Then you,
then you
only pay attention.
Hold on. Like that.
Hold on, Shelly. Then you probably only pay attention to things that probably focus on black people doing things bad.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Are you asking in my personal life or online?
Well, I mean, any part of either way, you've never seen. I'm talking about in the city. Let's narrow it down to the city of Cincinnati. I'm not suggesting you've been in a club and you've seen white on white crime or what. I'm saying, have you ever seen videos or have you ever been present of white people fighting at baseball games, football games, downtown, anywhere? Have you ever seen any video?
Not like that. Never.
You've never seen video. You've never seen drunk guys at the bar down on the banks that are white punching each other out.
I was at the bar every night all through my 20s.
Okay.
Never seen nothing
well,
like
Shelly,
that.
You might. I don't want to be. Trust me, I'm a very nice guy. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to you, but I think what you might pay attention to is the only things that black folks do, because white people get in fights down at the Bengal Stadium.
No.
I've
seen white people get their ass beat
by white people, right?
By white people, right?
That was
but
my
not
question.
Like that.
Shelly,
I've never seen somebody kick them behind their head while they're down.
Shelly, I've seen a fight on the banks as early as last year. Okay, and I seen them coming out of a bar during that what do they call it, where you can carry your beer outside? I don't know what it's called in Cincinnati. What is that called when you can carry your
banks?
No, there's a little program that they have where you can carry alcohol outside in a cup, a certain type of cup. That's in it's a perimeter. I've seen clubs down on the banks where white folks were fighting white folks. I'm not trying to say that white people don't commit crimes or that they do. I'm saying that Dora, thank you, Linda. Thank you, twin. In that Dora area, I've seen white folks. Oh, you've never heard of Dora? See, you might want to get out a little bit more. I'm just saying, because Dora, I've seen white people fight white people. I've seen black people fight black people down there. I've seen white people and black people fighting each other. Okay, it's just a culture thing. It's a behavioral thing. It's not only white people and black people are fighting against each other down there because we dislike each other. It's a group of bad mentality people fighting with alcohol on their brains, and everybody, like Alethea Williams said, these guys are trying to be macho. And it happens in the not so much in the Reds games as it does in some of these other city games, because I for whatever reason it just doesn't happen that often at the Reds stadium or the Bengal stadium, but it does happen. All right, I've seen videos of tailgates, not necessarily tailgates, but I've seen some guys get into some fights down in that tailgate area. It may not have been tailgaters; it just might have been over in that area, but I've seen it. So my point.
But you said, right, that it's not racial because they would have done the same thing to a black person.
They would have. I've seen black people get jumped by black people downtown. That's why I know
and I think that's a fair argument, but I still don't think it makes it okay. And I still
no,
think
it doesn't. You think I'm okay with the black? I'm not okay with the black guys getting into it amongst the black guys. I'm not okay with that either. I'm just trying to prove a point that it's not necessarily racial because somebody got their ass kicked by the opposite, by a black person or something. I'm not saying that the motivation was that. Now, of course, there's going to be, if we live in a realistic world, there's going to be some people that's going to get a few licks in because they've had some bad experiences and this was their way of getting a little payback. All right. Some of that play into that. But for the most part, when you have two guys that are drinking and they get into it, chances are they getting into it because of some other shit other than race. That's just how I feel about it.
But as a white person, I'll tell you how white people fight.
Okay, you white? I didn't know that.
Oh, okay. Well, right. So if there's a white, like at one school, a group of guys might fight a group of white guys at the other school. Now at a bar, if somebody gets into a fight and it's one person that's pissing the bar off, they're not getting beat down like that. They're getting pushed to the door. They're getting beat to the door and kicked out. Now, as far as when you're saying they would do that to a black person, this is where, okay, my argument has been said is I don't want to see this be racial because I feel like it's a failure on leadership because some of these guys out there probably have a history of violence, right? The cops should have been down there protecting everybody because that's why they're always down there when there's crowds. There's always been cops that present crowds. That's a problem. That should be a problem for everybody.
I'll give you that. I will say to you that there should have been
us to get to unite against our failure of the leaders that we have. AFCAB is failing us. When the county commissioners this is what I try to tell E-Man. It's like this. People don't realize our public officials bait us. They bait everybody, right? Because when they're down there talking about, oh, we want 60% of our contracts to be non-white, okay? That's going to piss off the white people. We want programs to help this and help that. And then it creates a divide because the white people are thinking, oh, we're paying for them to get all this extra treatment because white people ain't getting it. Really not. That's when everything's about race. I mean, think about it. Our leaders, our officials make everything about race. I can't complain about Alicia Reese without being a racist. I can't complain about AFCAB without being a racist. So what? I can only complain about my white politicians? That's retarded. Think about that. That is retarded. I mean, we're gonna vote them all out. And the Cincinnati police chief, do you think she's a good person? Would you like to see her fired?
I don't know if she's a good person or not. I don't know her personally. I've never heard, I don't know anything about her, history as a person. But I hear some complaints within the police department of how things are being done. I can see that. I mean, I've heard that. But no, I don't necessarily want her fired. I don't know if she's done anything to be fired. I don't really know.
Well, it's not safe to go downtown. And if people don't go downtown and spend their money, that's not going to help the black community. And then the black people can't say, oh, the white people don't come down there because they're racist. When you just said you don't want them down there, that people, I've seen the comments. It was a jazz fest. Why were they down there anyway? They're from Madisonville. This city belongs to all of us. I mean, we all know there's certain parts that white people can't go. I mean, black people can go anywhere. They say they can't. But you can go to Hyde Park. I mean, it's just, if you've lived here your whole life, you know what's up. But to sit there and say he looks like he's from Madisonville, he shouldn't have been there. And then people on the internet are saying the same thing. He got what he deserved because he should have known not to go around the animals. And as a Cincinnatian, that hurts my feelings. That's what they're saying. Like, you gotta think about it. This is worldwide. Like, the feds are investigating us. They're coming to Cincinnati. I mean, it's a big deal. And I think anyone out here justifying this, you gotta remember.
So let me ask you this, Shelly.
You too.
Let me ask you this.
You sit here and say, I'm gonna bug up on Teresa Mack. Guess what? You're being watched.
Let me ask you this. Do you feel like that the gentleman who hit the guy in the red shirt, he slapped him, do you think that he was in the wrong? I mean, don't you think that should have never happened?
I don't think it should have happened, but also lots of things shouldn't happen. But that doesn't justify what happened afterwards.
No, I agree with that, but I'm just saying,
and that's
like,
the
don't
problem.
you?
That's where everyone keeps trying to, certain, you know, like people in Cincinnati, like it's kind of, maybe, I don't know if it's a guilty conscience thing, but guess what? Okay, and we want to go for an eye for an eye. Is that what we're doing? Okay, when Hinton killed that cop, a lot of white people are like, hey, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he killed his son. He got the wrong target, but hey, we understand. Is that what we want? You know, you got black people out here beating up white people, and you think the Nazis ain't coming back? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, is that what we want? Because that's what's coming. Because I'm just saying this as someone who is not living in a bubble in Cincinnati. Countrywide, the black fatigue, there's more than the Amish are strapped, the mountain people are strapped, the immigrants are strapped, and if everybody you want to be out here hating everybody, everyone's a racist. Don't come into my neighborhood. It's my festival. It's not going to work out well. And you can call me a racist for saying that. I'm just a realist. Because guess what? I'm not going down to Cincinnati. Fuck that. You know what? If I look at you wrong, you're going to beat my ass. If I call you a bitch, you're going to beat my ass. If I walk the wrong way in front of you, you're going to beat my ass. That's insane. That's animalistic. That is not a civilized society. It's just ain't. If people pay a lot of taxes, the cost of living is skyrocketed. And if I can't enjoy what I'm paying for, guess what? People are getting pissed.
Well, for the record, Shelly, let me just say this to you. I can't speak for the whole black community. All right. I can only give you my opinion. The group of guys and the group of little girls, young ladies that you've seen that were involved in that horrific situation is a small percentage of the city of Cincinnati. I'm just going to say that to you. The majority of the black folks of the Cincinnati area are tax-paying, hard-working citizens, and they don't agree with what happened either. Don't let certain perspectives on keyboards persuade you on how people really feel about this, because some people
I can't be swayed, because that's exactly what I've been saying. I understand that it's a small percentage, right? But we can't let the small percentage have the loudest voice, like the gays. They're a very small percentage, but we got fucking pride.
Shelly, you got a lot going on. You got, like, I've never talked to you before, but you got a lot. Like, you can talk. I'll say that, and I'll give you a stage.
No, I'm done. I'll let you go.
But
I'm just saying.
No, what I'm
with
saying
you,
is,
right? But we're in a terrible situation.
I don't know how
people
I
realize
keep
how
getting
bad this is, because people are fed up, and it's a small percentage get the most attention and have the most say and the most power. Okay, but they go arrest all these people that attack them. If we have a certain number of people that are going to riot because they don't like the sentencing or whatever, we got to have more people with a good head on their shoulders and use this as an advantage. Okay, we have the stepbrother of the vice president running for mayor. Oh, I'm not voting for him because he's white. Blah blah blah. No, don't hate the player, hate the game. We want that, because that's how you get what you want, right? Everybody wants to be safe. That's what we want. I'm just so pissed off and aggravated at this shit. You know, I love Cincinnati, but you know what? If I gotta be afraid to go downtown because I'm white, peace out. I'll let the immigrants buy my house.
Shelly, I really don't think that those people got beat up like that because they're white. I think there's some people that want you to believe that. I am trying to tell you that those folks would have got a beat down if they was Asian, black, white, Mexican. It doesn't matter. That situation that happened was a situation, I'm telling you, just look at the history of people that are fighting downtown. Shelly hung up. See, she's fallen into the media trap of this is a white and black thing, and that's what we don't want to happen. If it was a white and black thing, those things would happen downtown all the time. It would be white versus black downtown, black versus white downtown, fighting back and forth like this. She answered the question a long time ago. Well, she didn't get it, because she said that she hasn't seen white people fight like this before downtown. And I'm like, it happens. Okay, it happens. She says she only seen black folks. That I don't know if she said that, but it sounded to me like she was basically trying to say, I only see black folks that fight like this downtown. I don't want to put words in her mouth, nor do I want to belittle her point of view, but I'm just saying, it sounds to me that Shelly is falling in the trap of this is a black and white thing. And you guys, some of you are helping her with that. I'm trying to tell you that as long as that same activity is going on, black versus black, white versus white, white versus black, and black versus white, and it's consistent activity. So you can't really gear it into one direction. You can't say, oh, this is racial, not when it's happening amongst all people. I haven't seen any Asians down there doing this, nor I've seen a few Mexicans getting in the fight out in the Fairfield area in Cincinnati. But I'm trying to tell y'all that you can't put black and white. This just happens to be black people, white people involved. Why I don't see, and what y'all doing, if you fall in the trap of this was racially motivated, then you are actually fertilizing this whole thing of, you know, I don't even know how to title it. But if you do that, first of all, those that are involved are going to be facing the charge is going to be horrendous. You understand? They go from an aggravated charge, an aggravated assault, to now possibly a federal hate crime. The 15-year-old little boy got beat up by 8 kids downtown. He was a black little boy. He got beat up by black kids. All right. 2 white girls had a fight on the square. The guys had a football at the Reds game, had beer in their hand. They was fighting. Okay. They were white. People have conflicts. Sometimes they're mixed race. Sometimes they're the same race. It's just active. It's active that way. Don't make it about black and white. Trust me on this. Don't make it about that. As much as it might settle you or make you feel better. And for those that it do that for, there's a reason. There's a motivation. There's a reason why you need it to be black and white. Denise says, Goonie don't know what day of the week it is. Or what, I'm sorry. Let me read what she said. I'm sorry, the screen moved. She said, Goonie don't know what day it is. Shake my head. He shouldn't get no hate crime charges. Well, if people keep on talking the way they talking, sis, you know what's going to happen. But for those that didn't see it, I'm never going to play it again. But all I'm telling you is, listen, taking people's wallets out the back of them, dragging them out to the middle of the street, kicking to the head, to the back of the head, kicking in the face, kicking all that. However you want to justify it or make it about other than that. There's a lot of people that's making it way more than what it really is. Like y'all talking about history. Y'all talking about a bunch of other shit. All right. You talking about city managers. You talking about the city hall people, community leaders, all that old shit. You talking about something that ain't really got nothing to do with the people who did what they did. I'm telling you, you're falling right into the trap. And then when you get into these lost cause arguments, these hamster wheel ass arguments, now you feel justified for certain things. You see what I'm saying? Now you feel like, okay, yeah, we proved, yeah. No, I'm sorry. It's not funny. I have to laugh to stay from crying. I don't know what to say at this point, man. I got to shut it down. Peace and love to you guys, man. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time, right here on Wyatt Live. Don't forget me.